Boom. Welcome back to Scarland, my friends. We are back for a tour. Why are we doing the tour, you may ask? Well, last year when I completed Scarland, it wasn't the best of times. Sadly, that's when Jellie passed away, and I just couldn't come back on the Scarland. And I think enough time has passed, and I think Jellie would want us to come back and tour the world, and we are back. Look at this. We're wearing our Scarland shirt. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look. Okay. And look at this, guys. Not only that, we got the Scarland art book over here. So if we need to reference anything, if we need to reference things in the Scarland book, we can go like that. Look, boom. Look at that, like that, boom. But guess what? I did technology. You might be being like, Scar, what does that even mean? Boom! I can even pull up the Scarland art book here in case we need to reference something as we go along. Look at that technology, that power that I have completed there. Do you see that? You see that? That's what we call BAM! Isn't that cool? And then one other thing I got to show you before we start. Boom. We're going big cam real quick. We're going big cam. I have to be really careful with this. Very delicate. Very, very delicate. Very delicate. Bam. Very delicate. This is the castle that I was gifted at TwitchCon. And of course, yeah, this is Scarland Castle, and it is absolutely amazing. Now, you'll notice that there's only one flag on. All the flags got knocked off in the process of getting it home. I have them all. I glued this one, and oh no, I glued this one back and this one back. This one fell off today because I'm bad at gluing apparently. And then I need to get these ones back on here. I don't know if I picked the right glue. The glue is very like watery, so it's really hard to stick. I need a more like sticky jelly glue, I think, would put them in there. But it's absolutely incredible detail. Like, I hope you guys can see. I'm trying to be really careful here. I'm trying to be very careful. Look at this. Look at the detail. Look at the detail. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Oh, look, let's turn around again so you guys can see the back. Look at the back. Look at the back. It's so amazing. It is 3D printed and it is absolutely incredible. Like, just the amount of detail that went into this is absolutely wild. Like, I don't know. I wish you guys could see it like really close. I think you can. Hold on. Let me move my camera so you guys could. Let me zoom in on that. We're doing our best. But yeah, isn't that absolutely incredible?
X300 watched wildlife just now. Oof, dude, that was rough.
It was rough. That's why we're in our happy place, Scarland, right now. But yeah, when we get to the castle, let's take another look at this. I'm gonna very carefully place it down. Very careful. Very careful. Okay, good. Very careful. Yeah, isn't that incredible? Just, I don't know. The community is just so wonderful. We are very, very grateful to have such an amazing community. Oh, shout out. Gotta shout out the other cool Scarland thing. The TCG cards. Remember the TCG card? With the Scarland, like, art book on there? I love our reminiscing of our fun times in Scarland. Look. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? That's super cool. Okay. Are we ready?
Tip $10. I recently went to Anaheim Disneyland. My friends who watch you with me said your castle is much more impressive than Disneyland's. Smiley face. Excited to see this stream.
Oh, why? Thank you. Well, that's very generous of you, and thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay. Are we ready? We are ready. So, of course, in Scarland, as you can see, we've got our Scarland ticket to get through the ticket booths. We got our hard hat on. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The original suit there, looking super, super fancy. So one thing I would like to do while we tour is to answer any questions you have, both of Scarland or any Disneyland theme park related questions. Just feel free to ask. And then the other thing is I really want to fill you guys in on why I did things, how I went about doing them, things I wish I would have done or will be doing in the future, all that stuff like that. So I think it'll be really fun to kind of show you guys the thought process behind things. So feel free to in the chat there to let me know as we go along. So the first things first here, let's fly over here by Sir Grian's base. Now, when I envisioned this area right here, I wanted to do a parking lot. But then Green's beautiful base is right here. So I forego the parking lot. But when we do our return to Scarland in terms of rebuilding, Scarland's going to change a little bit. We may very well have that parking lot right there, which will be really, really cool. So this is one of my favorite parts. So Green built this really cool, like, mythical portal, right? But it was off center. It was off center. And because ever since I started Scarland, right, from Jellie's nose to the turnstiles to the flagpole to the little hole that you can fly through in the trolley, all the way across here, all the way down the track, right across the Jellie and Scar statue, through the trolley. This is all incredibly lined up. I went to great lengths for this. All the way down to the castle, right through to the center gold block spike, just like at Anaheim. It goes all the way through. So when Sir Grian, we'll go super fast back. So when Grian placed it off center, I was like, oh no. Oh no. And then he went on a vacation and I moved it. I picked it up block for block and I replaced it in the center. So it's nice and lined up. And I don't know if he ever knew. So I don't know if he ever knew. But yeah, it's all now perfectly symmetrical, lined up right down the line there. And I think it looks pretty cool. I love what he did because it's such a fun transition between my base and his base. And I love that. If you go back to like season 4 of Hermitcraft and Cub and I, we combined our bases together. Cub's like, dude, got a great idea. Got a damn idea. It's going to be amazing. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So we kind of like combined our bases together. And I kind of feel like we did that a little bit here with Grian's and mine base. So that's really cool. And I added this little like portal-y stuff down here as you transition up into Scarland. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cleo, thank you. We'll start off here. Cleo, big thank you, of course, for making this really incredible armor stand. And then the armor stands we'll see if you know, in the future as we progress through. But look at this. A little family here getting their picture taken in front of the Jellie flower bed, in front of the Scarland entrance. Like, look how cool that looks. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Let's see. I'm going to Disneyland for let's a choir tour. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Great luck with your choir and have fun. That's amazing. Cleo is the best, of course. There's this is a cool armor stand, but Cleo, as some of you probably already know, there's an armor stand further in that is amazing. Cleo taught me everything I know about armor stands because I was able to do some armor stands in the park. But I'm excited. Okay, so this area obviously is kind of the entrance. We don't have like ticket booths that are selling tickets. It's one of the things we'll talk about, the things that I regret not getting done, and maybe we'll get some of those things built when we do our here and there streams and or videos on Scarland now. So originally I was probably going to build the ticket booths in this area, or the ticket booths were actually going to be where the exits are. So this would be a place where you just go up to a kiosk and buy a ticket. And then I thought, well, what if I did the kiosk inside here? Because there's a lot of like empty space inside these exit tunnels. So that's something that I do still want to do, is add a place to actually buy a ticket, because I don't know. I love paper tickets. I hate using my phone. So in my theme park, unlike Disney, where you got to be like this the whole time, like, you can't put the darn phone down. My park has paper, tactile tickets you can take home and put on your shelf. It's amazing. Anyway, so this is the area here. We got the Jellie flower beds. We have our garbage and recycle bin. And as we travel up here, you can see just how fun this is, right? You just get really excited when you see this like grandiose entrance here. And then our wonderful Impulse, our handyman here at Scarland, built us this incredible system where you throw the ticket to the ticket taker and Impulse, we need some maintenance. We need some maintenance, Impulse. Wait, it got denied. Oh, it threw the ticket back at me. Oh man, we're gonna need some maintenance here. We got some ticket issues. Oh no. Sorry, folks. Park's closed. Moose out front. Should have told you so. Okay, it's fine. Maybe a little bit of maintenance here. Impulse, code red. Front ticket area. We need maintenance. Emergency. Okay, that's unfortunate. Ah, the good version of Jellie. Well, hello there, Jellie. Oh, how cute Jellie is.
The turkey tipped $20.
Oh, well, thank you. That is very generous and very much appreciated. Thank you. Anyway, that's really unfortunate that didn't work. So these areas right here I thought were fun because these are the exits. And when you go through these exits, I did this redstone myself, as you can see here. That's some pretty advanced stuff. So with that, you can't get back out. See? You can't get back in because you need to use your ticket. So I think that's pretty cool. That's my own little redstone and it works. So yeah, that's cool. All right, so let's take a look at this. You can see all the cool little flower beds. Now, all the flower beds in Scarland were inspired by Roller Coaster Tycoon. When I played Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid, I always went a little overboard on like designing all the trees and the plants and stuff like that. And it was always so fun to put all that together. So when designing all of the flower beds and stuff like that, I had so much fun adding the trees, using all the different colors and textures that we have with plants in Minecraft to create these very, very intricate flower beds, which I think are cool. Also, the Buttercup HQ looks so cool from Scarland, as you can see, with the tree in the back.
$3. Redstone was either broken or the items had the wrong name, less than 3.
You're right. There's a few issues with the world download I've noticed. It's probably that. It's probably that items had the wrong name. Wait, that's actually a great question. Do I still have it in my inventory? I wonder what it is named. Oh, yeah, I lost the tickets. Yep, that's probably what it is. I bet that would be the case. So yeah, that's the entrance to Scarland. I think it came out really, really cool. It has like a very kind of turn of the century fair, World's Fair kind of vibe to the entrance. And that's what I was kind of going for. We didn't do like a train station because this is like a inspired by a Disney theme park. So this is kind of like my own take on the entrance. And I think all the colors came out really, really nice. And we used my trick of putting honey behind, especially like an orange or a red or a yellow tinted glass, just to really make it pop, especially with light shining through it. So I think that came out really, really cool. I'm very happy with this. I am very happy with this. And now, as we progress into our central plaza area, we've got our town hall on this side. Now, in a traditional sense of like a Disney theme park, town hall is where you go for guest relations. If you have some issues in the park, your ticket doesn't work, somebody was mean to you, you need a button, you need a hug, who knows what. But that's where you go for any like customer service guest relations. So we have that on our left side, and on our right side we got the TCG arena. So let's start actually with the TCG arena. This area was built like just around the end of Scarland's, you know, like building phase. I'll call it like phase 1. So this area was built kind of last in terms of like Main Street builds. Now this area was inspired unintentionally by the Corn Palace. Now, last time we talked about the Corn Palace, we actually saw a Google Trends spike in people searching, what is the Corn Palace? I have a screenshot somewhere of it, which I think is hilarious that we made the Corn Palace trend on Google. Anyway, not intentional, but apparently it very much does look like the Corn Palace in South Dakota. So, and if you want to know what the Corn Palace is, it's not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot. They built it up to be a lot more than it was. Anyway, so this is the big theater. And my idea with this was I was going to build my own TCG arena. So in Hermitcraft, if you remember, in season 9, Beef built a whole like trading card game and we could play it. And we had arenas. Like Cub built the pyramid and Doc had one that Azuma had one, etc. So I wanted one for Scarland, obviously. And this is the lobby interior. So this is where, of course, you'd go to get ready for the show, which is technically the TCG thing. So you have the theater tickets here. And then, of course, these are all of... I think I took most of my like remaining tokens and the TCG cards and put them up on the walls. Oh, look how cool this looks. Oh, this makes me so happy to be back here. I'm just like ear to ear gritting. Like Scarland is like absolutely my happy place. And then over here, of course, we got the TCG theater refurbishments. Wait, refurbishments? No, refreshments, not refurbishments. So we've got our jelly Slurpees, we got our popcorn, and I think that looks really cool. We got a little stove there cooking up stuff. Now, the sad part about this theater is the fact that it was one of the things that didn't get done. So sad. So we had a lot of room, and this is where it was going to go, and it was going to be a lot like the Vex game show from season 6, as it was going to be like a movie studio TV set, filming set. That's why on the exterior here in the backstage area, we have like cameras set up being ready to like roll into the theater. And of course, the big Vex head was going to be moved in there. Now, that's more of like a nostalgia kind of Easter egg from the game show in season 6. But yeah, unfortunately, this did not happen. Will it happen again? We'll never know, but we might. There's other things in Scarland I do want to build and do. That we'll see. But yeah, I do wish it could have been complete. But what do you guys think of my red carpet? Doesn't the red carpet look kind of cool with the Nylium and then the carpet built in there and stuff like that? I think that looks really cool. I'm just glad we were able to at least get the lobby complete. I think that's one of the things that was my favorite. Now, if we go using my technology, see my technology, guys? See how cool I am with technology? If we look at the Scarland art book, as you can see, we've started here, right? Oops, you guys can't see that. We started right here, and we've worked our way into the kind of town square here. So there's the TCG building right there. I don't know. Can you see my cursor? I don't know if you can see my cursor. I don't think you actually can see my cursor. I'm so good with technology, guys. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Nope, you can't, even though it says selected. I'm so good at stuff. Capture cursor. Yeah, capture cursor. Thanks for not capturing my cursor. I appreciate that. That's so frustrating. Anyway, you can see where we've entered. There's the TCG arena. If we scroll down through the art book, look at this. Look at these architectural renderings of the TCG building and guest relations. Isn't that cool? Isn't that absolutely amazing from the Scarland art book team? Peanut and Hoffen did these two drawings of the architectural renderings of it. Just absolutely incredible. Yeah, but as we go through, we'll kind of look around at that. But yeah, isn't that cool? Anyway, all right. So we have our flagpole. Oh, look at this, guys. Look at this. I love sunset at Scarland. Oh, that's such a magical moment, isn't it? It was such a fun thing when the kind of drawbridge entrance to the castle has the sunset behind it. Isn't that cool? I think I love that part. That's one of my favorite parts. When we get to the castle, we'll talk about the sad things that I never got done in the castle, because I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, it'd be kind of nice if there was a fireworks show went off, if I don't say so myself, you know. But be pretty good. Anyway, okay, let's pop the light back on so we can actually see. Hello, Minecraft? Scar to Minecraft. There we go. Okay, as we descend back into our town square here, we have the trolley tracks that go across here. Now, we used to have a trolley in the center here, but unfortunately, that mischievous Cub fan 135 took it to the museum. He took it to the museum. So yeah, that was our original spot there for our purple trolley. We'll take a look at our purple trolley in a minute, but Yeah, that was that's where the purple trolley was supposed to go. And then we have our flagpole here in the center. Similar to say like Disneyland, where the flagpole's there and you have the dedication plaque, and of course the kind of like seasonal prop for the park goes like right here, like a Christmas tree or a pumpkin or something can go along there. Anyway, let's work our way into the town hall building. And I did a little trick here that I'm really proud of. Look at the windows. It looks like the windows go up and down, as you can see. So that was a fun little trick I was playing with using kind of like a darker background with a lighter window. So you can see like it either is a shade that's been pulled down or the window's been pulled up. And it's kind of, different varieties of up and down depending on people working in the kind of admin offices of Scarland. So I like that little trick. I think that came out kind of cool in the design there. So as you walk through, you kind of peek through the windows. And that's kind of the important thing I had when...
Jackie at 30 tip $10. I just started watching Hermitcraft with season 10, so it's super nice to be able to finally see Scarland.
Oh,
it's
that's
absolutely beautiful. BTW, you're so good with technology.
I do try with technology. I'm a man of technology, a man of many talents of breaking things, and technology is one of them. But thank you so much for the tip. Very much appreciated, my friend. So yes, this is guest relations, and I thought of no better person to work in guest relations with their big old smile than Sir B00 over at the counter, and I think that came out absolutely fantastic. Now, there was some thought put into this. Now, this is a guest relations area, of course, and I did want it to kind of tuck it back a little bit. Just want to kind of tuck it back a little. So you kind of put the kind of maybe the people that are upset a little bit, to the side so it doesn't disturb the rest of the guests. So you have this area where it's kind of a little awning here. And when you walk in here, the first thing you see is not people being upset about something. You see this beautiful tree, right? So you come in here, you don't see people like yelling and waving their finger, which just seems to be common at town hall. So you see this beautiful tree and you're like, oh, that's wonderful. I'm actually going over to the Scarland VIP tour room. That's right, the VIP tour room over here. So if you are going on a special tour, you come over here and you sign up with the most studious man in all of Hermitcraft. Not B-dubs. I'm doing that over again. When you sign up for a tour, you come in here to sign up with the most studious man of them all, the mumbo of the jumbo with the mustache. Take two. I think this is cool. I love this. Guys, I'm going to probably say that I love it every single inch of this park because this is like, I'm soulbound to Scarland as I was soulbound to the snail in session 3 of Wildlife. Anyway, so Mumble will get you all set up with the tour. Now, if you're familiar with Disneyland, especially its lore, can you guys see what I'm pointing at here? Let me grab a torch. Wait, where are torches nowadays? I guess I could just search. But where are they? I used to know exactly where torches were. Oh, here they are. It's kind of dark. I'm going to put this right there for a second. So, lore-wise, what is the red and the gray? What's the meaning behind that? Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. I'm curious. Plaid, exactly, because when Disneyland opened, one of the things, let's go back one click back. Walt loved polo, like the game, with like the stick and the horses and the balls and things. And he wanted, just because of his love of it, he had the tour guides that roam the parks wear like a polo outfit, and they were very detailed. They wore like literally the helmet. They even had like the stick and everything, and then there'd be like a little tag hanging off it said like Disneyland Tour or whatever. So obviously that costume has progressed to be just kind of like very basic in today's day, but back in the day it was extremely intricate. And those cast members have always had like a dark red and a gray in their plaid uniforms. So that's why just a little homage to the plaids and the tour guides and guest relation cast members in here. So I think that's a little cool little homage to them. And of course, if you're on a VIP tour, you gotta have refreshments, of course. You got cookies and popcorn and Slurpees and a whole lot more. So this is where you would go to go on your tour. Now, oh boy. So as you guys know, in the lore of Scar, I am both banned from Canada, and I've also committed war crimes, apparently. Apparently me putting this cross here, people told me I committed a war crime by doing that. So that's just a little bit of lore that you've learned from me today. I don't know. It's Minecraft. Anyway, so we got the Minecraft, or the Welcome to Scarland first aid. You've got to have this war crime Scar. You've got to have a first aid area, right? You got to have somewhere for people. If you're going to have a mass amount of people that come into your park, you need somewhere for them to go in case they get sick or they get hurt or something along those lines. So of course, we open up the doors here. We have a very nice little doctor's office here where somebody has a bed. They got some little medical-y things. The doctor can take some notes. And then of course over here we have the same. So just a nice little area to take care of our guests and make sure they are healthy and happy. Now you'll see eventually there are some armor stands. There's a few more I still like to add that represent like special guests to Scarland. This was a special guest to Scarland during the operation of actual season 9. So back over to Sir B00s. Look at him over there. They're like the three thing, you know, the emoji, the monkey emojis with like, I can't hear, I can't see, or can't, whatever. It looks like those. And then we have a giant map of Scarland above, which looks really cool. So you would just get into one of these lanes, and then you would go up to, you'd go up to B-dubs and, you know, talk about your complaint. Or you know what you can do actually at Disneyland 2? You can give the cast members here a compliment for somebody that was nice to you in the park. So not all complaints, right? Not all complaints. You can compliment a cast member, and you should. Look at how cool the map looks. So there's like the castle over there. This is where we are right here. Love it. So yeah, this is Town Hall for all guest relation needs.
300. Yes, my favorite creator. War crimes with Scar. Though to be fair, it is a silly war crime.
That is very true. That is very true. One thing I wanted to do was build up more offices up here, but it didn't get done. But I'm just happy that these interiors are done, and I think they came out really, really nice. So that's kind of the town hall, you know, TCG area of Scarland. So I think this area from above looks really, really cool. Like, look at how cool that looks. You have the trolley coming down, and you have the different walkways, pathways, the planter areas, and you can see from above here how, just like any good theme park, we have a beautiful facade, and then we have kind of like the backstage kind of industrial area, so it really ties in with the whole story. And if I could use a little bit of technology, guys, boom, technology, I think this is really cool. If we scroll up a little bit, you can see the entranceways here, but where is, here it is. I think, yeah, the town square here. You can see from the Scarland art book, the artist here, how they created this really cool above shot to kind of show like the train and all the details here. I think that looks so cool. Absolutely love it. Anyway, let's go in some of the shops. So as we progress our way into Scarland, we start here at one of the most important shops, and that is the Gify shop. It's the Gify shop. What can I say? The Scarland Gify shop. Jelly hats and jelly plushes can be for you at the Gify shop. So the Gify, if you don't remember, I built the Hawkeye headquarters, which we've got to take a look at the Hawkeye headquarters after this. But so get ready for the Hawkeye headquarters. I originally put a sign there right before the crossover event where it said Hawkeye HQ and Gify shop open. I meant gift shop, but I accidentally misspelled it Gify. And just for fun, you guys said that the big main shop here in Scarland should be named The Gify shop.
Curlsoft Doom tipped $5. Heinous crimes have been committed. Straight to Minecraft jail with you. You're so good with technology, it's almost like you're a professional streamer.
Thank you.
Scarland so much.
All these wonderful comments about my technology. Thank you. Thank you so much for the bits. Very, very much appreciated, my friend. Very, very much. Thank you so much for the tip. This is one of my absolute favorite shops in Scarland. I really wanted these to be incredibly ornate. So if you were at like a Magic Kingdom style park, this would be kind of like an emporium. So like kind of a catch-all shop where all the different merchandise from the park can be found. So when people are exiting after a long day here in Scarland, they forgot, oh dang, I needed that creeper or that stormtrooper helmet or whatever. They can jump quickly into the Gify shop and they can grab that. So we have the nice little podium here in the center. We have Jellie plushes, we have clothes, we have a super duper Star Wars fan right here getting some Baby Yoda ears. Now the Mandalorian, the Boba Fett, the Baby Yoda ears, and the Stormtrooper helmet was from Sausage. When the crossover event happened and the members of Empires came to Hermitcraft, Sausage made all this for me for a Secret Santa, and it was amazing. So this is really cool. Look, they got the backpacks, and then an appearance of our favorite B00 again at the cashier stand here, looking absolutely fantastic. I love this. These are some armor stands. I did all the armor stands in here. So learning from Cleo, I took all that knowledge and applied it, and I think it came out really cool. So you have like a little kid here and its dad getting a Jellie plushie. There's B-dubs ringing it up. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I love this because each armor stand needs to tell a story. It's what I learned from Cleo. It's like the armor stands need to tell a story just like the builds do. And with this, you got B-dubs ringing up the plushie, and this kid is so excited for his little Jellie plushie. Now over here, this is where hermits could come and buy. If I can open this. This is a cursed barrel, never to be opened. What happened to the barrel? It's just like cursed. So weird. Okay then. Is it lag? We are experiencing a decent amount of lag, unfortunately. Like I'm at like, I don't know if you can see it with my big dumb face. Oh no, you can see it just above my big dumb face. I'm getting about 50 FPS. I didn't have this kind of lag in Hermitcraft, but in the single player world, I do. Something probably gets offloaded to the server that now, like in single player, there's no server. I don't know. Whatever it is. Anyway, back to our tour. Looking at all of our wonderful things. We got our creeper statues here. And then in the back here, I love this. Look at this little kid looking up at the Hawkeye poster. Oh, I love it. I love it. Just a little seed here. The kid and his mom looking up at the Hawkeye poster. Oh, I love it. And then, of course, this is an homage to an attraction that I was going to build that I didn't get built, and that was our dragon coaster. So, yeah. Sad saying that, but that's okay. We may be building that in the future. And then Red, huge fan of creepers, as you can see. Huge fan. I love this. I love this shot of Red. He's just so excited to get his creeper animatronic toy. Oh, I love it. And like I said, all sorts of little bits and bobs in detail in here. Love it. And you might wonder what that little bit of clicking sound in the background is. That's not my microphone, thankfully. That is the sound system to keep the warden that lives in the attic there from killing us. I think in single player that warden died, but in Hermitcraft there was a warden up there named Alan, and Alan was the bane of my existence. Alan was the bane of my existence up here. Yeah, Alan's not in there anymore in the single player world, but in Hermitcraft, I died many times to Alan. Anyway, so that's Town Square here. The first, and then the second shop here is the Scarland Cafe. Ice creams, slushies, churros, and cookies can be found inside here. This might be one of my favorite interiors because I love the chandelier. It's kind of 1920s Art Nouveau. I don't know. It just looks cool. I don't know. I like it. Anyway, this was an area that I unfortunately did not get done. So I even mocked it up, but I never got it done. So I was going to put 2 villagers in here, and then I was going to put glass surrounding this, and then I was going to use the armor stand mod to place all the different food items in those glass cases. So if somebody were to come up here, like almost like a buffet style, they could be like, yo, I want the whatever, and then they could go off to their tables here. And I didn't get any armor stands of people eating and stuff along those lines, which was a bit unfortunate. Still things that I'd like to do in the future. And one thing I wanted to do with the interiors here is to make them feel bigger than they really are. So the idea with the multiple level balconies here is just to make your eye and your mind wander to like, ooh, what's around there? Ooh, what's that? Because when I was a kid and I went to Disneyland, that's what endlessly fascinated me, was the balconies, the lights on in the windows. Like, is there somebody up there? Does somebody live there? Like, where does that pathway go? Where does that go? Is there more tunnels here? So that's why, like, in the in here, I really wanted to emphasize, like, there's just being a lot of activity that you can't actually access, but it makes your mind wander about like what wonderful things could be up there. I did want to show you this over here. We do have window displays, and this is the Hawkeye window display. So we got the Hawkeye poster there. We have a statue of Hawkeye. Hawkeye's got Hawkeye's TCG card. Hawkeye's got the Hawkeye bow, the volleyball, and what's that? Hawkeye's most notorious kill. Hello, Amor. Who's a no Amor? Poor B-Dubs' horse. That is the actual head of B-Dubs' horse. I don't know if he ever knew I did that or not, but yes, that is the horse's head. Do I feel bad about killing a horse? Yes. Do I feel bad about putting that head there? No, that is hilarious. So yeah, making the window displays is another aspect of just adding more depth and more life to a build. Because originally for quite a while, those windows were just blank and they looked terrible. But once I got those window displays in, the area I felt like came alive so much more. So this is an homage to the Dragon Coaster that never was, but it is just a way for our park guests as they come in to get excited as they come across. They might see something cool they might want to buy in a shop, or they might see something referring to an attraction that they are going to go on. So this is just a little homage to the to that. So I think that's really cool. So as we work our way forward into Main Street here, we have one of Cleo's greatest armor stands. Still not the best one, but one of the greatest ones. And that is our little B-Dubs here inside of a stroller. And then the family is losing a balloon up into the sky, and it's just bringing energy, it's bringing life into it to make it feel like a living, breathing park. And I think that is so cool. And calling back to our window displays, as you can see, this is just showcasing what is available in the shop that we just toured, the Gify shop. Let's go to technology, guys, real quick. I want to show you some technology. So look at the artwork here. Look at the artwork. Look at that. Why can't I read the person's name? I can't read the text. Through OBS on my screen, the text is blurry. I can't read that, unfortunately. But you can see the Gify shop here. So some architectural renderings. And then, of course, in the Scarland Cafe, look at the chandelier designs. Aren't those incredible? Like, look at the chandelier designs from the Scarland art book. Just absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely incredible. Now, if you want to download the Scarland art book PDF, you can on the Scarland art book website. So if you're looking at what I'm showing you here and you want to look at it as we go along, you can download it from there. And then make sure you check out all of the artists, all credited here. I wish I could name their names, but unfortunately, when I'm just looking at this through OBS because I'm really good at technology, all the names and text are blurry to me. It's all blurry to me. Anyway, let's bring some light back to our life. There we go. And now, facades. I keep backtracking in things I want to talk about. One of the things I did in Main Street was I wanted to avoid too much repetitive blocks. So if you look at the left side here of Main Street, so if we kind of get like a side profile, I really strive to not create repetitive colors, designs. And I think I achieved that decently well. So we can start over at Town Hall. So we have Town Hall, and then that transitions into the Gify shop. And then that moves to our bank, our clock shop, our popcorn shop, our hotel, the Mossy Cocoa Bean, Jellie's Sweet Treats, and the fortune teller shop. So you can see as we progress over here, all of these shops are unique and different, but all from the same family, if that makes sense. Because I wanted the area to feel like connected and together, with also being unique and special in its own way. So if we turn to this side of the street, you can see the same. All the different buildings are unique, but all feel a part of the same world. So that was super important to do that. And yeah, you know, obviously there's some blocks that are common throughout, but at least I tried to use as many different textures and colors as possible. There's even endstone and purpur built into these facades, because I really wanted to emphasize having a lot of different colors into designs. And also each building needs to give off a little bit of a vibe of what's inside. So for instance, the restaurant, I felt like the red and yellow kind of awnings kind of gave off like a market vibe, kind of like a place you'd buy groceries or something like that. And then this is kind of like a very regal shop that you would go in to buy something fancy. And then this building wasn't intentionally supposed to be a bank, but looked very bank-like. It felt very bank-like. So this building right here is the Scarland Bank, and accepts emeralds and accepts diamonds. Now, if you stood here, these guys used to. It works!
Chirp Trip cheered X300. I just remembered I could follow along with my physical copy of Scarland. Absolutely beautiful designs in the book and in Minecraft.
That's awesome. That's what I was hoping you guys would be able to like follow along, either with like the physical book, or, you know, going to Scarland, the website, and downloading the PDF and then kind of following along. That's awesome. That's what I was hoping for. That's fantastic. So yeah, we had the bank here, which was not intentional, but eventually became that. So I think that was really cool. And then across the way, this is just a building that never had anything other than being maybe like a residential building for more like placement, if that makes sense. So it doesn't have like a shop or anything attached to it, but yeah. I think it came out. I think it came out nice in its design. It's just maybe needed something, right? This actually opens up into a non-guest facing area. This is a backstage area. So this is my storage system that is broken. This was just a way to access it, to constantly fix it. I had a mob there that I was going to do something with that didn't actually happen. But just, you know, similar to like a theme park, right? You have your guest on stage area we're at the moment, and you just walk backstage, and it, you know, becomes very industrial, just like any good theme park. And if we use our technology, guys, I want to show you the bank. The bank artwork is so cool. So you can see up here the bank artwork at the top left. You can't see my pointer, but isn't that cool? And then the clock and jewelry below it. I can see that text because it's so big, but I can't read the smaller text. And then the popcorn shop down below in the Scarland art book. So as we progress down here, Magic Hands Man no longer exists, sadly, for some reason. So Magic Hands Man is gone. This was supposed to be a fortune teller, and I was going to do like an elaborate, like maybe redstone or something that would like shoot out fortunes, but it killed me every time with Vexes, and I never wanted to see it again. So that was scary. Actually, let's turn up the sounds. Speaking of that, sounds are actually really low. I want to hear something. Let's turn those up in case we can hear the goats. All right. I'm so excited. This is so fun. And like I said, every shop has to have its own unique vibe, right? So the fortune teller shop here is really cool because it's very distinct in its design. It's red, it's dark, it's a little mysterious, a little creepy. It's sandwiched into like two like happy buildings. And that's kind of the beauty of Main Street here, is like fitting in these unique styles. Now we have marquees across here. And then on this side over here, which I think looks really, really cool. It's just bringing that popcorn light, that kind of excitement into Scarland. Now, this is the Scarland music shop. This shop. I love the screaming goats so much. Okay. The in here is all of the different things that make sounds in Minecraft, right? That almost jump scared me. We've got horns over here. We've got record discs. We have, I think this looks like a drum. I think this looks like a drum. And there's a screaming goat head over there. Okay, maybe a little loud. Maybe a little loud. But yeah, I think this looks really cool. It's got like a kind of like a little bit of a dark, kind of moody vibe inside. So I think it's really nice. It has all the sources of music, and I think it's a nice little shop here in Main Street. And we got Cub. He's just poking his head out over here, looking at the drum. I think that's really cool. And a little, some purchases being made right there. So yeah, that is the Scarland music shop. And of course, all the goats are in there just causing a ruckus for fun. And I think that's really cool. Now, if we move down here, this is another one of my favorite shops. And this is the toy shop. I feel like, it's gotta have a toy shop. It's got like a whimsical nature to its design. And it's the Jellie Whisking Whimsies toy shop. And inside here, we got Grian. There are subtle Easter eggs to be found throughout Scarland. And of course, Grian is looking up at his favorite block, and that is mycelium. We've got Mumbo just admiring the redstone here, and a scalper. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. You know them, especially at Disney World. These people are the worst. They go and they buy up all the great merchandise, and you see them like carrying out all the stuff like this. Gonna go make a killing on eBay. The absolute worst. Absolute worst. People on their once in a lifetime vacation can't buy anything because these people are out there going and dumping it all on eBay. So this person right here, Scalper Steve. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. So Jimmy here in the toy shop. playing with a little Scar toy there. I think it's quite I think it's quite funny. But yes, this is the toy shop. I think it came out really fun. And of course we have like the Easter eggs from the Easter egg game that Jevin set up in the season, which is cool. And lots of little mini heads and stuff like that, which is just super fun.
Wolfris is tipped $50, sending all the love from New Zealand. Have a great time at Scarland.
Oh, what a wonderful message and a very generous tip. Thank you so much. And hello, New Zealand. Man, I was watching some videos from New Zealand last night. What a beautiful place. Once again, thank you so much for the tip. That's very, very generous and very much appreciated. Oh, that's right. Saturday Autumn and my mom came up with this name. See, we kind of like did a couple of workshops of the design. Like I got an idea from the comments, and my mom like helped me kind of like format it a little bit. So yeah, that was a credit on there. Anyway, moving on to the theater. Now, this I had plans for. I wanted to build like just a straight up theater with like a stage, chairs for whatever hermits want to do with it. Unfortunately, it's one of the things that didn't get done in Scarland. It became my storage area for when my storage system broke. This is where Scarland was built. So yeah, oh boy. Wait, What is this? B-Dib 6'2" killed his day one horse. Oh, this is the Scarland security alert board. I had to keep an eye on B-Dibs because I was worried that he was going to attack me. So yeah, B-Dib 6'2" killed his day one horse. I touched Doc's redstone. Can't be trusted with redstone, Scar. Hawkeye. So yeah, this is I spent so much time in this room just organizing and moving this and that around. Just absolutely insane. Yep, there they are. There's my boys. There's my boys. Oh man, the amount of time I spent in here trying to fix this storage system brings tears to my eye. Brings tears to my eye. So these are the storage modules. Let's actually look at that for a moment. So this is the storage system here, and it fed all of the shops. So not only is Scarland, in a sense, you know, kind of a decorative build, it's also functional. So inside these two shops here was my wood storage. So all wood products were sorted here. And across the way here, through the bank, you'll see another bank of storage systems, and this was all stone related products for this side. So you could, you know, travel through the different shops as if you were shopping to gather your resources for your build. And if we fly over to the hotel, this storage module was for all the miscellaneous blocks in the game, from redstone to ore to food to all of the miscellaneous blocks. And then in this storage system here in the Mossy cocoa bean, this was all organics. So you had leaves, you had mushrooms, you had coral, all of that was stored in this area. So if you were to travel to this shop, you could purchase or grab the resources you needed. And finally, over here was all of the colored blocks. So this would be concrete, wool, hardened clay, all the different like colored blocks. So each shop had its own little storage system, and honestly, it worked a lot. It's just when it broke, it really, really broke and was a huge pain. So that's kind of the beauty of the system, is that every shop had its own little storage system, which is cool because it inspired some other hermits to do something similar. So I'd love to do this design again, just a little bit better, and, you know, make it a little bit more functional. Now, if you were to try to put resources into the system, you came to the backstage area of the park here, where of course we have our dumpsters and our recycler. And what you would do is you would dump all of your resources that you wanted into the system. You would dump it into this chest right here, and it would automatically flow through here, up and around and down into here. So you could literally take out the trash. So if you were doing a big build and you had a bunch of shulker boxes, you literally put your shulker boxes in here. It auto extracted the resources from them as if you're a custodial cast member, and you just dump all the garbage in there after a build, and then boom, bam, and gone. So yeah. Jono, hello. How are you? We're here in Scarland, the park you made the incredible theme song for. So yeah, that system worked somewhat, but I think it all ties into the story and the theme of Scarland, right? You go and you do a build, you have a bunch of junk left over from the build, you want to put it back in the storage system, and just like a custodial cast member, you just put it right on in there. And it works out perfect. I think on this side, it actually exported. Yes, it exported empty shulker boxes on this side. If I'm not mistaken, you actually put loose resources in this box. So for instance, you would put this in there. So you would put all of this like loose items in these boxes. And on this side, you would put shulker boxes, I think is how the system actually worked. I think that's how it actually worked. So let's bring the light to our lives again. And if we pop back out, we can take a look at the facades. So one thing I wanted to do in the design of Scarland is to have the windows tell a story too. And, you know, as you're walking along, you can see little things up in the windows just to give it more life. Like there's a painting in that one. Another painting in that one. You have Boba Fett watching you from that window. And, you know, Scarland is very whimsical. Of course, all the fish aren't there because of the world download, I suppose. But it's very whimsical. There's just a fish tank in this window for no reason. It's kind of the vibe that I love about Disneyland, is how there is a monorail circling a fantasy village, and there's a giant Matterhorn Mountain. And it's just kind of like, why? Somehow it just all works, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, we have that building there, and let's cross the street here and take a peek at these buildings. So this building right here is the clock shop. This shop here sells clocks, and I think it's really fun. The window has different clocks and bells. Unfortunately, this is a shop that doesn't have a facade because of the storage system. But it's a beautiful facade in itself. Now, next door is the popcorn shop. And if we refer back to our technology, we can see, let me see, where is it? There it is. You can see the Main Street popcorn shop here and the shops that we've just toured through the Scarland art book. You have the Magical Hands Man and up here, as you can see. And then down here, my setup is really a precarious setup to do this. And I keep failing at it. There we go. Because I'm trying to scroll for what I can see and you can see. What you can see is not what I can see. So I have to guess ahead of time what you're seeing because I messed everything up because I'm great with technology. So you can see the magic shop or the music shop and then the Scarland popcorn shop here that the artists from the Scarland art book put together. And I think it's so cool how the artists were able to take like the design here in Minecraft and make it real, like it's a real thing in the real world. And this is the art that's behind the creation of the real thing. And it's just so wonderful. That's why I cherish this book and the artist work so much, because they took what we created in Minecraft and just made it living and breathing. And it's just absolutely incredible. But let's take a peek at the popcorn shop. And one of the things I wanted to do at the popcorn shop was to make it as living and breathing as possible. So that's why we literally have poppin' popcorn. We got poppin' popcorn down here. Now, I did this redstone myself. That's right. I am a man of redstone technology, and I think it's fun. It's just armor stands bouncing on slime blocks, but it just gives off the feel of like kind of whimsy. This is a place you can get your popcorn, and this is, of course, the Main Street Popcorn Company. And if we go inside, you can see we've got a person, giving off, or giving the, can't even speak. This person giving popcorn to this person who is paying. Now, Cleo did these armor stands, and these are the ones I was learning from, and she did such a fantastic job. So I think that's really cool. And of course, there's lots of little popcorn up on the wall here. Let me see if I can get a good angle. So yeah, you just have little bits and bobs of things that represent popcorn or butter. And then this is where people could go. Why can't I open a barrel? I can't figure out why I cannot open a barrel. That is super frustrating. But there were, I think it was like Papa K. I can't remember who. Somebody constantly. Oh no, it was Pearl. Pearl bought out my popcorn constantly, which is amazing. It's Axiom, really. I'm still trying to learn Axiom, guys. It's a beautiful program. It's just very confusing for me. It's just very confusing for me. Beatups has done a lot of work to try to help me. Yeah, I don't know if it's Axiom or not. Anyway, let's move out here. This is, if I close that door out of the popcorn shop, this here is the Willy Wonka building. Why it's the Willy Wonka building? I don't know. It just looked like Willy Wonka would live here. So this is just a kind of an in-between building that's not really a shop. It's just kind of fills in the gaps between the bigger buildings. So yeah, I just figured that Willy Wonka would live there. You guys say it should be Perry. Perry. I don't know who Perry is. And over here is the Main Street Clothers. This is a really fun shop. I felt like Beatubs is such a dapper man that he should be in here too. But this is where you can go to get clothes. Isn't this cool? This is the first time I ever used armor trims, and I actually love armor trims on leather. I think it looks really cool on leather because you can do a lot of like really cool things. So Perry the Platypus. Dude, I don't think platypuses even exist in the real world, so I don't even know what you're talking about. So I think this came out really fun. It does feel very fancy. That was the goal for this shop, was to create something a little bit more fancy. So this is like a fancy shop. And then of course, this is where you would go in a Minecraft sense to get, all the different resources you need. I'm so glad the resources are actually still in the chest. Like, look at this. What kind of witchcraft and wizardry just happened? What in the world? What is wrong with this? Dude, what is happening? I'm gonna leave those alone if that's all right with everyone. So yeah, this is this is another aspect of like design. Like in a Disneyland, Disney World, or even Paris, and I don't know, probably Disney World. A lot of the shops connect, so they may look all separated from the outside, but they all connect, and that's what I wanted to make sure I achieved with the buildings at Main Street, was that kind of connected feel. And I always go back to my childhood and thinking about because I always thought it was fascinating that the shops connected. I don't know why. I just love the fact that the exterior, the shops all look separate, but on the interior, you could go between the different shops. I don't know why, but when I went to Disneyland as a kid, I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. So I had to do that in Scarland. So that is that. And of course, there is a cast member entrance here to pop back here to do maintenance on the ever-broken storage system. So I think that came out really, really cool. Very, very pleased with that. And yeah, absolutely love it. So if we cruise down here, this is a fun Easter egg, and this is the Scarland Hotel and Resort. So this area right here is both kind of a restaurant and a hotel. So this is a built-in hotel for the park here. So this is outside, is a restaurant here. We've got Sad B-Dubs working the podium. We've got the refreshments here. And if we move inside here, we have our check-in area for the hotel and room key 237 now at the museum. Cub took that key and put it in the museum, room 237. So this is where you check in for the hotel. And on this side is just a little lobby area for you to relax and wait for your room to be cleaned. And then there is a bypass right over to the clothing shop there. Once again, connecting the shops because I loved it as a kid, so why not do it in my own park? And then this is where you would access the actual storage system, like so. And then on this side here, I never completely finished it, but it is a little cafe to grab something to eat before you head into the park in the morning. So I still need to add an armor stand and some people eating. And then back here, I want to do a display case with foods inside there, but I was unfortunately never able to complete that. But if we go upstairs here, this is what's really fun. So when we did the crossover, I didn't intend for this area to be built up, but I absolutely love what Flip and Scott did. So I think we are on... Thank you for letting me stay here, 10 out of 10. I never saw that. So if I remember right, this banner represented Scott. Yes. Oh, this is so cool. So Scott and Foot both lived in Scarland while they were on Hermitcraft in season 9 during the crossover event. And this was Scott's apartment here. Look at how cool this is. Scott having pancakes over here. Oh man, love to see it. And then if we pop over here, oh, there's a little like bedroom over here. I forgot how cool this was. Wait till we get the flips. There's a surprise in that one. And then a little loft up at the top, and then a bit gold. Oh, he's got a Hawkeye bow. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh, that's spooky. This is super cool. I forgot how cool this was. Why is there a Joel head in there? I never knew there was a Joel head in there. That's hilarious. Oh, I love it. Oh, this is so fun, guys. Are we enjoying our trip to Scarland? Are we enjoying it? Oh, this is so fun. Joel is everywhere. Are we having fun? Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are having fun. And remember, if you have any questions about like why I chose to do something here or there, like just hit me up in the comments, or if you have a question about why Disney designs builds and rides and lines and this and that, just hit me up in the comments. I love to answer those questions as we go along. Now we're going over to Flip's area. This one has a fun surprise. Flip is the only person to buy an elven bed. All those hermits never bought an elven bed from me, but Flip did. And of course you knew, if you bought an elven bed from me, it came with a free mandatory gift. So kind of wonderful. So over here, Flip did such an incredible job bringing life and energy to this. This looks phenomenal. I love it. This is so beautiful in here. So much detail. I mean, obviously you would expect that with Flip, just incredible build, but this is just so fun. I absolutely love it. I love it because it just adds energy in something that I wasn't intending to do. So it's just, no, no, no. I guess with the world download, we lost the Ravager. I was so excited to show you this. So Flip bought a bed, and I built him a bed, and obviously it came with, because it came from a Matador mattress shop, it came with a free Ravager. And the Ravager lived in the bed here. Mr. Cuddles is dead. That is so sad. Dang it. So sad, so sad, so sad, so very sad. So that is the Scarland Hotel. I always felt like this hotel needed a different name. I felt like it needed, I don't know, it gave off an aquatic vibe, like the Trident Hotel. I don't know, it just gave off that vibe. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still open to name changes. Let's bring light upon us once again. Let's do a little technology real quick, guys. Who's ready for technology? So if we scroll down here, one of the cool pieces of art shows Scarland here through... Where is the record discs being played from? Hold on, let me do some technology. Let me turn that down. So you can see Scarland through the seasons, which I think is really cool. It's very clever if you look at the detail in the summer, the winter, the spring. You can see me kind of rolling through the bottom there in my wheelchair. Isn't that cool? And you can see wearing a different like clothes and stuff like that, which I think is super, super clever in the design. And I want to point out, this is something for when designing things. I often see when people try to add a person in a wheelchair to artwork and or a game or anything, they often design it after like a stereotypical hospital style wheelchair. What's cool about this artwork is it's like designed in the sense of like a real wheelchair that somebody would actually use in their real life, instead of, say, like Disney does this all the time, and it's so frustrating to me. They always show a kid in a wheelchair, and the wheelchair is like 5 sizes too big for them, and they got their hands out like this, and they're trying to wheel it, and they're like, and it's like, oh my god, that's not like at all realistic. It's not realistic at all. The Axolotl Inn, that's a good name. I actually really like that. That's a good name. So when designing things, try to look at wheelchairs that people actually use in the real world, and boom, boom. I wish I could read the person's name, but it's so blurry. I can't read it. Somebody, if you can see it on the screen, say it in the chat, like credit. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I think they did a great job on that, and it's a pet peeve of mine. That especially Disney. I think one of their most recent pieces of art that they released at D23 show the kid in a wheelchair that's like 5 times too big for him, and it's like an old like hospital wheelchair that nobody actually uses in the real world. So I love how these shots are of chairs that you could actually see somebody really big and somebody can more relate to it. So anyway, I think that's cool. And then if we look down at the artwork here, you can see the clothing shop here looking super fantastic. And in the clothing shop, this dragon chandelier is like the coolest thing ever. Oh, look at this. If we scroll up here a little bit, we can see the interior of the hotel. So I think that looks really, really cool. Along with the clothing shop there, Cleo selling the dresses. It's so much cool detail. That's so cool. It is beautiful. All right, continuing our tour to the bathrooms. On your right-hand side is the bathrooms. Please step forward if you need to relieve. Anyway, if we go into the bathrooms, I think they came out pretty cool. The reason I designed them like this is we're kind of going out of like the ultra themed Scarland into a very industrial kind of bathroom design, which I like the stark contrast between being out here in all of this incredible color and texture, and then having this like transition in where you see like this, and then boom, stark bathroom. I love it. And yes, you are correct. You are correct. Did anyone? This is where I hid from Doc. So when I blew Doc's redstone up, I hid on this toilet right here in absolute terror. And a few minutes later, I heard Grian's little voice go, Scar, and he was back here. And I never fixed this because I just thought it was so funny that he broke through this wall. I don't know how he even got back there. No idea. Broke that and then walked over here, and I'm in the toilet hiding from Doc. So yeah, I had to leave it there. So this tour represents Hermitcraft as it stands. The next time you see Scarland, we'll talk a little bit more about that later, will be more, some of the stuff will be different and fixed and stuff, because we're like Scarland transitions to its like a different phase. So this contains all the fun like Hermitcraft memories. So yeah, I got little garbage cans in here. This is fun. This reminds me of my old days when I first started YouTube, when I did tutorials, and I made a lot of toilets, a lot of bathrooms, a lot of kitchens, a lot of tables, chairs, all that stuff back in the day. So this was kind of a fun little homage to my olden days on YouTube when I did tutorials on how to build. One thing I wish I would have done was make a handicap stall, and I remember wanting to do it and then completely forgetting. And I think when I redo this a little bit, I'm going to make this a handicapped bathroom stall right here. I have the block right there, an extra block there. I can remove this pillar and then widen this and make this a actual handicap stall, which I think would be really cool. All right, now that we've freshened up, we can step over here. And once again, this is just another in-between building just to kind of fill in the area. Do I talk about toilets a lot? I built a lot of toilets, and I'm going to say this. You can disagree. I think I built one of the very first toilets in Minecraft ever, at least on YouTube, way back in like 2011. So I'm going to hold that as a claim of fame. If I'm wrong, that's fine, but I'm going to hold that as a claim of fame. Anyway. This is the Mossy cocoa bean. This might be my favorite shop, guys, so buckle up. The Mossy cocoa bean. And you can get all sorts of stuff here. Vibes and books, coffee, hot cocoa and tea, and a whole lot more inside the Mossy cocoa bean. It's one of my favorite shops of all time. It's just blossoming literally and quite figuratively with plants and flowers and stuff along those lines. And it's just got absolute beautiful vibes in here. And if you go upstairs, this of course, as I mentioned before, is where you can get all of the organic products when you're building and stuff along those lines. Now, if we step down to the coffee shop, I never finished this area, unfortunately. I didn't get to the armor stands that I wanted to. At least I got one, and that of course is Gem over there. So I think this one came out cool. Just Gem, solitary Gem, just in the Mossy cocoa bean here. Back here, you can see that these two blocks represent like different coffees, right? You have the kind of the green and the red, and then the crazy coffee maker looking super, super cool. What was that? What was that horrific sound? Oh, dude, it's a buttercup cookie. Oh, don't eat that. Don't eat that, guys. Please don't eat that. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. Jab, don't eat that, okay? Don't eat that. Don't eat that. But back here, you can see cocoa beans that have fallen onto the floor, different, teas and coffees that have spilled. So just little details like that to try to make it, more alive and stuff along those lines. So. Hello, B-Dubs. Hello, Mossy boy. B-Dubs just makes a great plant. Like, he just makes a fantastic plant. Let's pop up here real quick. And yeah, the ceiling is just fun. It's just fun. Lots of moss, lots of plants, lots of little potted things everywhere, which I think is super cool. And it's one of my favorite designs. Now, this building incorporated all of the wild update blocks. So you see the mud, you see the mango wood or whatever. So that was fun when that update came out, I wanted to do something with the new blocks, and it's such a prominent and cool building in the lineup of shops. Now, if we turn our attention to this side, you can see our magical gem sheep. Look at how beautiful that is. I love that rainbow sheep. Anyway, moving on inside here. This, of course, is the Worlds of Color shop, Gifts of Color. And if you moved inside here, this shop is just full of color. Look at it. These kind of represent boxes, right? So they're just kind of like lots of different colored boxes up there and all the different blocks here. And the reason this is the Worlds of Color is, of course, as I said before, this is where you go to get all of the colored blocks in Minecraft. So I think that's what's really cool about this one is that the name ties right into the shop. And if you look up at here, you know, you can see out all the different windows, and the ceilings all have lots of intricate detail and stuff like that, which is really cool. This does have an entrance backstage once again to maintain the broken storage system. And like I said, guys, if you have any questions about why things are designed the way they were, or what I wanted to do, or anything, just hit me up with comments. Beatums is like a chia pet. That's true. That is very true. Looking forward to seeing how you will incorporate the newest blocks into Scarland. Oh, that's a wonderful idea. That's great. Yes, we will get to that. We will get to that. That's a great question. Once again, this is another like back-end connector that just connects this area together. And, you know, there's just fun little decorations, like a little train represented here. And then this connects to all three of these shops. And then this shop here in particular is fun because that's one of my favorite armor stands, and that's just Cub. Cub is just vibing out here. He's got his popcorn, he's got his hat, he's got his balloons, and he's just waving. He's just waving to people. He's just having a great time here in Scarland, as you do. And then back here, of course, we can see the different shops. So these ones are mostly placeholder shops in this area. So this one's fun because this one does represent an actual shop at Disneyland. So this is the shop that has the porch with the rocking chairs on it. And if you go back into olden times of Disneyland, so a little Disneyland history, that shop actually sold corsets and ladies' undergarments back in the day. And the porch in the front was for the men to just wait for their wives to go shop. That shop lasted maybe 2 or 3 years at best, maybe even a year back in 1955. And then it eventually just got the entrance got walled off, and then just became extension of the clothiniers or whatever it's called. But that is a very fun and very silly old Disneyland trivia for you. That's what it actually sold. If you go back to early days of Disneyland and Main Street, Walt wanted it to be like a real living Main Street. So there was actual place you could buy a piano. There was the place, like I said, you could buy underwear. There was a lot of shops that represented the real world. Unfortunately, in practicality, nobody's going to Disneyland to buy a piano or a corset. So those things eventually left, obviously. But it was kind of a cool idea, at least, that they were trying to make Main Street feel really alive. Like these are all real buildings that sell crazy and cool things. I wish Disney would meet in the middle, right? Bring back some interesting shops instead of everything just selling 2024 and characters intertwined in the lettering. Add some cool things like the One of a Kind shop. Disneyland had a shop called the One of a Kind. It was near the exit of Pirates of the Caribbean, and it just sold antiques, just cool antiques. And it was very popular. But at the time when it was replaced, it was an era of make every square footage be profitable. And if this shop wasn't as profitable as selling Mickey wands, then it was gone. But it took away the fabric of what made Disneyland so, or at least New Orleans Square so special, is it had those unique shops. In my opinion, not every shop has to be so maximize your profits. Sometimes you can have an atmospherical shop that maybe doesn't make as much profit as something selling Mickey wands, but it adds to the tapestry of the feeling of the park and the vibes. So unfortunately, it's gone. It was my mom's favorite shop, and it was actually Lillian Disney's favorite shop. She shopped there all the time after Walt's passing. Anyway, back to our tour here. Let's pop over here to our candy shop. Once again, I'm going to say it again. One of my favorite shops, both here in Scarland at Disneyland, is the Jelly Snacks candy, cake, sweets, and desserts. Sadly, this shop doesn't have an interior. So sad. So sad. I'm so sad right now. Anyway, let's move over to our spooky shop. Look, another spooky shop. Oh, I love this one. This one's really cool. And why is this fella? Well, that's odd. This is Corralis's head. Why is it just like a solid color? Man, the world download messed with quite a few different things. What happened here? This is supposed to be Corralis, a little child freaking out because he opened the door and saw a creeper. And he dropped his popcorn. Well, anyway, that's supposed to be Papa K's head. And the idea is that this is like a little jump scare door, something that you might find like in a Toontown where you open a door and it makes a sound or a light come on or something. I thought it'd be really fun for like the spooky shop here. If you open this, and it's a creeper. That's so sad that didn't work. Anyway, this is another entrance for our, so this is a lore barrier. So we're crossing out of our story area and into our cast member backstage area. So back in this warehouse over here. So, you know, do maintenance for the broken storage system. So yeah, that is Main Street, but not all of Main Street, because we didn't see the most important part of Main Street, and that's what makes this whole thing tick, and that is cast members. Nothing would be possible without cast members, and this is a lore barrier that enters the realm of the cast members area. So obviously the magic doesn't just happen, it happens because of the hard work of cast members every day, and that is what we're representing here. I think this is really cool. This might be one of my favorite areas of the entire park. So back here, let's get into the details here. This is the trolley barn. So this is where all the trolleys come after a long day of the park. So this barrier will lift up and the trolleys will roll in and out of the lore barrier. So over here we have our orange trolley. So they're all like, you know, color coordinated, right? This is orange trolley. So that's, where is it? I did text. Yes, I did. So that is trolley orange number 2. That's the trolley that Cub took, trolley purple number 1. Then these are the 2 trolleys that are on the tracks right now, trolley red and of course trolley green. And so what's fun about this is I really tried to think about the actual process of how this would work. So these trolleys are battery powered, so they need an electric charging port. So they roll over these charging ports and they charge their batteries. And so this is the electrical line that runs across here, charging these. And this is the transformer over here. Danger, high voltage. So I think that's really cool. You're just trying to think of the idea all the way through. If you have a trolley, where does the trolley go after hours? How does it get maintained? How does it get charged up? And so you think that way, you think that process through, and that's how this was devised. And of course, there's more signs here, trolley green parking bay. And yeah, I had so much fun designing this because it's themed after where the monorails go for maintenance and stuff like that. So it's just trying to think the idea all the way through, which I think is really cool. You'll see these things around here. So those are fire hydrants, and there's just lots of little maintenance things, little wheels stacked up here. These are our go-karts, or not could be our go-karts. These are the golf carts that cast members use to move about the area. And of course, there's a handicap spot right there. Now, this might be, I say this every time, I'm so sorry. Just count how many times I've said this. This very well might be my favorite. This is the maintenance building. So this is cool, guys. This is cool. So I didn't get to it, and we'll talk about this as we progress further into the park, but I did not get to the Jungle River ride. And this is my Jungle River ride boat. So this boat was brought over here from its attraction to do some maintenance on. So we have this right here. It's the Scarland River Cruise. And I think it came out really, really cool. There's an Easter egg in season 10 of this boat on the train. So I think that's really fun. On the exterior here, there's once again another Easter egg. This represents something. I'll let you guess what it is in the comments or in the chat here. So this represents something that happened during season 9, but this train is being taken apart, right? So they're doing preventative maintenance on it. They have the wheels taken apart. It's leaking oil onto the ground. You can see how they're like, you know, scaffolding holding up the is it the Luxo Express from the crossover? It is. That is very correct. And extra points, you knew the name. It was the Luxo Express. Oh, that's fun. That was fun. The crossover was great. So yeah, so this thing is getting maintenance. It's got this big crane holding it up. So this is just a giant train from the park that's getting worked on. Now, if we head inside of the maintenance building, you can see all sorts of fun things. Here's a log that got damaged and they're trying to repair it, right? So this little section got like broken, so they're trying to fix the log. These are our creeper animatronics. So these animatronics are currently being programmed. So you got to program and animate and like an animatronic, right? Imagineers of Disney, they spend countless hours, months programming animatronics, like intricate little movements, right? Every movement of an animatronic is programmed by someone, and that's what's going on right here. So these creepers are being programmed by our animation team. This creeper is ready to be transported to an attraction, so it's in its crate. And then this is part of the dragon coaster that never was, but maybe will be. This is another animatronic that's getting ready to be inserted into its location. So you see the top portion of it being guest facing. So that's, you know, nicely designed. It's got the dragon head and everything. And then below guest facing, you have more of like the mechanical bits and bobs, right? Isn't that cool? Then moving over here, this is a de-skinned animatronic. Have you ever seen an animatronic that's had its skin off? It looks horrifying, and that's what this represents. This represents the skin being pulled apart off of a animatronic, and you can just see the mechanical bits and bobs of the design. This is a wither. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Love it. I love it. Love it. Then, of course, this is another like animatronic being lifted up. This is part of the river ride, and, you know, just like mine carts and things like that. And of course, this is just kind of a workbench, right? I love how this guy's just kind of poking his head out of there. And, you know, I don't know. It's just fun. I love it. Wait, this was supposed to be something that's broken. I don't know what. That was something that's broken. Anyway, it's just fun. I think this came out really cool. If we go through here, this is where Impulse had his redstone headquarters. So this is where Impulse had all of his stuff set up for when he was the handyman of the park. And there we go. Making that sound go a little lower. Anyway, unfortunately, I don't think Impulse ever came back. I think he built this and then he kind of took a break for a little while. So he never got his like payments I was paying him. I was paying him, but he was gone. But anyway, he set this up. I think this came out really, really cool. And he has a little homage to one of the greatest Imagineers of all time, and that is Bob Gurr. Love it. Big fan of Hawkeye. I think he was kissing up to the boss there a little bit. But Impulse built this up here. I think he had like a whole band. Yeah, he built this whole drum set. He went all out up here. It was super, super cool. So yeah, he lived here in the park, which was really fantastic. So yeah, that is the maintenance area. I'm going to say it again, one of my favorite areas. So I think that came out really fun. So yeah, the backstage area is all about trying to think of the practicality on how to make what we saw on stage area functional and actually work. We did look over here. There's the golf carts. Back here, and then of course we saw this earlier in the stream. This was the TCG theater that never was, so it was supposed to be an homage inspired by the Vex TV show from season 6. So that's why there's like cameras and stuff like that. So yeah, that was my TCG arena that never happened. That was supposed to be like, you know, fun game show thing. Anyway, moving on down the way, and this of course is the garbage area we looked at a moment ago, and then just more like backstage stuff here, you know, pipes and thingamabobs. Now, the cleaning lady, of course, was in charge of the cleaning of the park, and Pearl set this area up absolutely fantastic. Pearl did such a good job on this. Look at this, like forklifts, like garbage going through here being sorted. Like, come on now, this is fantastic. This is so cool. It's just a bathroom. She's got a toilet, guys. She got a toilet in here. I can't be more happy. I can't be more happy. We can have more toilet talk. This is so cool. This is so cool. Cleaning lady office up here. Now, Pearl and Impulse both had hats made for them. So got like a little cleaning thing up there on that side. And then Impulse had a redstone piece on his hat. And on mine, I think I have free cam on. On mine, we have Jellie. I just have Jellie. I guess I have just Jellie. But yeah, Impulse had redstone on his, and Pearl had a little piece of poop and a broom sweeping up that poop. But yeah, Pearl, well done. This is so cool. And then, of course, these are the garbage cans. As I said before, when you were doing a build, how to make this area feel real and feel living and breathing, you took your shulker boxes you wanted organized. You'd place your empty shulker boxes in there, and it would dump it out into the storage system. If you had loose items, you just... Did you guys say it was Axiom? Oh, am I moving things? Oh man, I'm gonna need to have B-Dubs help me again. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I really broke it. Oh boy. Anyway, B-Dubs has tried so hard to get me to learn Axiom. I'm just a failed person trying to figure this out. Anyway, this is where you would put like loose items. So you just throw like loose items in here, and it would sort it and put it into the system. And then any shulker boxes that you put into this system, once the items were taken, sent to be sorted and stored, the empty shulker boxes were returned here. Pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool. Anyway, moving on. That's strange. I thought I heard like a ghost of remnants of season 9. That's so weird. I thought I heard somebody say something. That's so strange. Oh, and this is the cleaning lady trash area. You threw trash in there, and the cleaning lady would come and grab it up. So if we move ourselves from here, we can swoop on over to this side. This is another backstage area on the opposite side of Scarland's Main Street. So you have little transformers, fire hydrants, and stuff like that. And this is where the different outdoor vending carts are located for balloon sales. So these are different carts that are just, you know, backstage waiting to be moved along. And on this side is really fun. I say this every time. I'm like, oh, this is the best part, guys. But it is. I'm soul bound to Scarland. I love it. I love it. This is storage area. So you have some little trains here. You have an elephant from the river ride. Just things you would find in a backstage area of a theme park. Then the horticulture area. I did not know how to spell horticulture, so it is the Scarland Landscaping Department. So it is the Scarland Landscaping Department. Cleo, just incredible. Like look at that dress. That's amazing. So this was an armor stand that Cleo did, and it's just absolutely incredible. So she was Queen Jellie, obviously. Like that is like the hat and the crown and everything. And Tango here being a great gardener. Look at him. Look at him clipping those plants. Well done, Cleo. And then yeah, I set this up back here. It's still broken. Still broken. How is that still broken? I don't get it. I don't get it. So anyway, these are all the flowers and stuff. So you would see this in an actual theme park in a backstage area. You have different plants, something dies on stage, needs to be replaced, or it's seasonal, and things along those lines. So you have trees in big pots and stuff like that. More garbage on this side. Now, fun fact for Scarland in general, this right here, I was going to actually try to have Cleo help me with this. So this was going to be the Scarland both security office and costuming office. So it was going to have like a little security office with like monitors, but the main building right here was supposed to be cast member costuming. And I was going to see if Cleo would help me like design it and build it up. I thought it'd be something kind of fun. Unfortunately, it never happened. I never actually asked Cleo because I don't know. There's so much going on when I was building Scarland. It was hard to both do this and maintain life. So his life was so crazy. But yeah, maybe someday I'll build it out. But it was supposed to be costuming because I figured like Pearl's cleaning, Impulse is doing the redstone. Cleo would be perfect for costuming with the armor stands. So that didn't actually ever get built. But yeah, you know, more garbage cans, things along those lines on this side. And then some dumpsters here. This is a cast member break area. So there's little awnings, places for cast members to get food. There's little water stations, and then outdoor vending carts that are just stored back here. So that is on the ground level for backstage areas. Now, as I said before, the facades of the Main Street buildings are all decorated, and then the backstage areas are like the warehouse, place you don't want to spend the money, right? This is what Roy Disney once said, like, why are we spending money in the backstage areas? The guests can't see it. So obviously it's kind of dilapidated. So these are air conditioning units for this building. And then if we move over here, you'll see these kind of apparatus, if you will. These are parade and show lighting systems. So this device right here both has the lighting and the sound system for the parades that go down Main Street. So during the, you know, normal operations, these are retracted down. And when it's parade time, these are retracted up. So they shine light down on the parade route below us here. And then when they're not needed anymore, they're lowered back down. So they're not like obscuring the guest's vision and stuff like that. It just keeps to the theme, right? So yeah, these are tucked away. So this is just a little detail that doesn't matter, especially when you're building in Minecraft. But to me, it's important to do these designs because it adds to the tapestry of making this feel like a living, breathing theme park. So yeah, when these need to go up, you flip the switch, and this isn't great, unfortunately, but these would pop up, shine the light and sound below. And that's how those worked. So that's the point of those. And there's lots of little vents, and you know, you can see how this facade is being held up by some extra supports, very similar to a movie set. I mean, that's, if you go back to the original conceptual designs of Disneyland, Walt hired a lot of architects, people who worked in the industry, and everything was coming back so like bland. And one of the things that Walt realized was like, I need to get the movie boys over here. So he got a lot of the people who worked in the movies to come over and work on Disneyland, and they understood what he was trying to achieve by creating themed environments. And so a lot of the sets, a lot of the things in Disneyland were designed a lot like a movie set. So hence like this facade being just kind of like held up by little scaffolding, you know, same over here, because it's not supposed to really be a real building. It's supposed to be a facade. It's supposed to convey a story, and it doesn't need to be like, you know, a solid thing. It just needs to convey what it needs to the audience. So these parade lighting structures go all the way down Main Street. As you can see, there are 3 across here and then 3 across on this side. I think that looks fantastic. And yeah, so that's the backstage area and the front stage area of Scarland. We've got more to see. We got the castle coming up. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys what this looked like from above. I'm just like progressing really, really slow. Come on. There we are. So yeah, you can see where the parade lighting and the general like pathways.
Cheered X300 Scar. What was the name of the book you said you were reading recently for extra Disney info for the stream?
Extra Disney info? I read this book before. I used to have the book, and then I got it on Audible. So I can mess with it read it while I am streaming, or not streaming, but working on videos. The Disneyland Story, the unofficial guide to the evolution of the Walt Disney's dream. Great book, because it talks a lot about the stuff that you wouldn't really hear Disney talk about, like particular players in the designing of Disney that maybe like fell out from the company. You know, there's lots of like extra like details in it, which are cool. So yeah, let's go over to technology, by the way, guys. Let's go over to technology. If I can make it work. There it goes. Let's scroll down here. So we toured the Mossy Cocoa Bean. There's the restrooms on this image. And one thing that's really cool about the Scarland art book is look at the different signs. So when the artists were like designing this, they thought about everything. They thought like, if you're doing an actual concept for a real like build, right? You would probably have a couple different options for signs. And look at how many different signs they designed for the Mossy Cocoa Bean. Isn't that incredible? You got the toy shop here. Look at the toy shop. Look at the toy shop. So these are the buildings that we toured through Scarland. Absolutely incredible what the artist did for the Scarland art book. Like, I can never say enough nice things. Like, it's just incredible. The theater. Look at this. Look at the magic shop. Ah, it's so cool. The jelly snacks. Isn't that nice? The trolley. Oh, look at Beat-Ups. Look at Beat-Ups. Look at Beat-Ups. Oh, he's driving the trolley. Oh, I love it. I love how Beat-Ups is so prominent in the park with the big smile. It's just like he fits the cast member vibe so well. And then like the parade floats and stuff like that. The garbage cans, the banners and flags and balloons. This is what's cool is the artist thought about this, and I think this is such an important point, is look at the garbage can on the right side. I wish my pointer worked on the screen. Unfortunately, even though it's selected to be shown, it doesn't. You can see where the garbage can is designed to like go up and down. Like they thought about the mechanics of it. They didn't just design the garbage can, they also thought about the mechanical nature of it, which I think is really important. And lots of concepts for light poles and stuff like that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Oh, I love it. Okay. All right, let's jump into Spectator. And we're gonna go now back down here. Now we're gonna see my favorite armor stand. This the Cleo knocked this one out of the park. Cleo knocked this one out of the park. This is I look in a wheelchair. There's mom and dad heading down Main Street to have a good day at the park. I think this is in my opinion, this is Cleo's best, but I'm biased, but this is the best armor stand Cleo's ever done. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. That's such a cool one. Like, come on, like that is just, come on, that's amazing, right? It just reminds me of like going to Disneyland with my parents and stuff. I've got like 6 trillion bags on the back of my wheelchair. I love it. Anyway, let's head down Main Street. And one of the beautiful things about Main Street, I keep forgetting to tell you guys things. I have to back up, I'm sorry, but it's important. When the original designers were building Disneyland, Main Street, as you enter, starts at full scale. And what I mean by that is the buildings of Main Street at the very beginning here, like in Disneyland, if this was the train station, this would be full size, along with Town Square and the Opera House. Now, as you progress down Main Street, the buildings actually shrink down as to create a forced perspective to make the castle look bigger. Now, I have heard Imagineers say that it's on the reverse as you're going out of the park and you start at the end of Main Street, like right over there. The buildings are smaller, right? Because they get progressively smaller as you go down Main Street. The idea is that this back here looks bigger than it should, so it makes it feel like you're getting to the end of Main Street faster after a long day. I don't know if that's actually true, but that is something that I did hear once. But it's definitely true that the buildings are smaller, so they start at full scale at the front of the park, and then as you work your way down Main Street, they get smaller. Now, if you look at this, let me go like this. Here we go. I did this for the park. So we start out at full scale here, and then as we work our way down the facade, you can see the buildings starting to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. But they always maintain the same plane, right? The windows are always lined up all the way across. The buildings just get smaller. Just a little bit of a fun little forced perspective that they did, and it's super cool. So yeah, all the buildings, they get a little smaller as they go along, as you can see. So if you look on this side, just a couple of hot guys in the windows there. You can see how the buildings get progressively bigger as we move our way down. Isn't that cool? I bumped the antenna. But yeah, anyway, fun little detail. Anyway, let's work our way down Main Street. So as you can see, we got the castle up there. We have the hub in the center. The original Imagineers, when they were designing Disneyland, spent so much time designing the hub. What I mean by that is they wanted to create a central location that spanned the entire park. So if you went over to Frontierland, you always knew where you were and how to get back, because all you had to do was turn around and walk back, and you were back here in the hub, and then you could go to Fantasyland, Tomorrowland, or leave the park. So the hub was incredibly important in the way that they designed the park. Nowadays, obviously, the park has expanded in so many directions. The hub and spoke is maybe a little less effective in terms of like orienting yourself in the park, but it's still effective in some ways. So this took an incredible amount of time to design. So you can see how the trolley track makes the circle, right? And then you had the flower beds. Trying to get this meticulously lined up was no easy feat. It was not an easy feat, but in the end, I'm very like pleased with the way it did come out in the end, because it's all nicely like lines up and is very like decorative and stuff like that. So I think that came out really nice. And of course, all the flower beds, like I said, are all themed after Roller Coaster Tycoon. So I think that's really cool. So in the hub here, these are some armor stands that, wait, is this one? No, this is one Cleo did. Yeah, because of the bucket. This is a good one that Cleo made because this guy took off his shoes. His feet were sore. His feet were sore. But yeah, these ones that Cleo did, like this one, are so good. So good. Anyway, all right. So we got the hub right here. So this hub will send you into directions that you want to go, right? So if you want to go over to our Venture Isles, you go that way. If you want to go into our Fantasy Realm, you go that way. Or if you want to go to Sci-Fi City, you take a right turn over there. If you just want to go and get a picture up at the statue here with me and Jellie, you could do that. Let's start over at Adventureland because not everybody saw Adventureland because it happened like right at the end of the season. And these guys right here, I made these ones. Just a couple of Star Wars fans there. So this is Adventure Isles, and we're going to start talking about a lot of the stuff that didn't happen. So buckle up. We're about to get sad. Oh. A few more details. I'm sorry. I get excited and I forget things. In Disney theme parks, you'll notice a lot of times that they will, especially in the old days when they cared about sightlines, you'll see a lot of very strategic plantings. So you'll see trees strategically planted in places to block out backstage areas, or you'll see like a facade designed purely to block out the outside world or a particular area that they don't want you to see. So these trees right here, this big tree is purposely designed to block out the backstage show buildings that are not themed. So that's really important in this design with this tree here. Now, if we move over a little bit further, you'll see fake trees. So this is a design you'll see on the outgoing attraction at Animal Kingdom, the dinosaur ride. They wanted that facade to actually look smaller. So what they did was they planted, or actually built fake trees to put up on the roof to make it look like there's actually trees behind the building to make it look smaller than it actually is. So there's times where you actually want to bring the scale down rather than expand. Generally, in force perspective, you're trying to always make things bigger, it seems like. But there are times when you do want to actually bring things down a little bit. And so these are those fake trees that are designed to make this side of Main Street look like a forest rather than a warehouse. So those are just little details that I wanted to bring into the design to make it, kind of show off the tricks, right? The other trick that you'll see often at a Disney theme park is the use of color to make things blend away. So this is like go away green or whatever they call it. There's a few different shades that Disney uses to make things in the park disappear that they don't want you to see, that are backstage things that aren't pretty. So you'll often see things painted in a green color. You'll see things painted in kind of like a bluish gray. These are just things to make buildings not be prominent. You're not going to paint something you don't want somebody to see red. You're going to paint something green, or you're going to paint it something gray to try to make it blend away. So those are some fun little details. But if we head into Adventure Isle, I love a little arch here to kind of to signify that you're entering a new realm of the park, a themed land, if you will. So we're going into kind of like an adventure area. So you see a giant firefly up here. You also notice that I designed support structures to actually hold it up. So these are, opaque, so it's not super visible, but they're there just to give you the sense that this is still an actual theme park, and that's not a real dragonfly, but it's a theme to make it feel like there's a dragon. Isn't that cool? All right, let's head in here. You'll see the transition of pavement. So you'll see from brick to wood. Actually, this is more, I think of this more as dirt, like themed concrete, if you will. So with this, you'll see this in a Disney park. If you transition from land to land, look at your feet as you go through. You'll see concrete change or pathway material change. You'll also see often there'll be a lot of like barriers, right? Like handrails or something to keep people from going into the plantings. You'll often see like a really cool subtle transition from one design to another as you go through the different areas, along with musical changes and stuff like that. So as we progress under the bridge, that means that we're now in the Adventure Isle area. So we've got some lava flowing there. And then of course you can see the volcano that took a literal month to make. That took a month. That took an entire month to build. That was a lot of work. Just looking at that gives me the shivers. So in this area, obviously we've moved right into a new realm. So the garbage cans have changed. Just like in a Disney theme park, look out for the garbage cans. As you go to different lands, you'll see the garbage cans match the land that they're in. So you'll see that there, and you'll see the lighting posts have changed. Now they're these little fire tiki torches going up into the sky, looking really cool. So you're just giving off that kind of a tropical or adventure vibe, that you're so far away from that Main Street design that you're in like a jungle or something like that, a forest. And it could be anything, right? Like the Adventure Isle area can be tropical, it could be the Sahara, it could be like a temperate, it could be all sorts of different things. That was kind of the vision of it, to have a couple different biomes, like a desert, jungle area, like a forest area. So yeah, we only got the jungle area built, sadly. Anyway, so you can progress your way through the land here, like so, down the pathways, looking super cool. And you'll notice another trick of the trade of theme parks is using trees to block stuff. That ridiculous flag that he told me he was going to remove.
$5. I was born with a disability. I had a wheelchair plus tubes for most of my childhood. One part of my condition made me need a heart transplant at 7 years old. I know child me would have loved to have you to look up to, and I'm sure you're a role model for a lot now.
Oh, that's very nice of you. I appreciate that nice comment. And it sounds like, man, you had a heck of a journey, my friend. Man, it does sound like you're doing good, and that's fantastic. Well done. Just, man, you've been through a lot, and it's inspiring to me to see like how much you've been through, and you're killing a life. So, yeah, thank you for the nice message. That's very, very nice. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Yeah, man, that was a nice message. I appreciate that. All right, so over here, that flag is blocked by my trees. So I designed all the trees to block the flag as best I could. So that's why the trees are designed the way they are. You can see these pathways that lead to sadness, and I'll talk about those in a minute. And another pathway that leads to sadness. We've got our beautiful elephant here. When H-Bomb was on the server to play Decked Out, he said, I forgot what it was. It was something about like he thinks these should have been asymmetrical, so he broke one of the blocks, and I'm like, dude, that's amazing. So it stayed. Yep, that's Ellie. And then this area was supposed to be part of the attraction that never was, sadly. We'll talk about that in just a second. And if we worked our way through here, you'll see that we're going into the lava flow of the volcano. As it goes downwards, you can see all of the dead trees and things along those lines. And this would have led you to the attraction's entrance for our river ride, that is. And look at the detail here. Like, look at this lava flow. So the lava starts up here at the top of the volcano. Man, it takes a long time to get up. Wow. Oh my gosh. The memories of coming up here just like hit me like a train. Oh my gosh. It's funny because like I remember the meetings we were doing for like the life series merch while I was building this. Oh my gosh, this is wild. Sometimes memories just hit you out of nowhere. So you can see here like all the detail in here, and as this flows downwards, let's go into spectator to be a little easier. As we flow down, you can see how the lava starts here, and then it kind of dries up as it gets down. And you can also see how, you know, the trees are dead and the bamboo has dried up and stuff like that. Isn't that cool? Oh, I love it. Okay, let's talk about sadness. Let's talk about sadness. So the things that I wanted to do in this area, was the jungle river ride. So similar to like a jungle cruise, but like my own little take. So the idea was that we were going to use this Minecraft technology that I saw. I forgot the person's name, but they were so talented. They were able to make Minecraft boats move autonomously. And I thought, boom, that's got to be in Scarland. That's got to be in Scarland. And so the idea was, let's go on spectator again, that the boat would go along here. So you'll notice that there's a lot of flat land. This is designed for two reasons. One, you need a bit of a build up to something like the volcano. So you don't want to just have the volcano appear out of nowhere. You want to have the slope upwards and then the sheer jump up into the volcano. So that's why there's a lot of like flat land there. And also that the river ride would have gone across here. And that's why there's a lot of room all the way across here. This is all custom terrain, by the way. This was a lot of work. This is all custom terrain. So there's a lot of flat land that was designed in a way to be where the river ride would go, like this little section through here. And you'll often see this both in Disneyland, where they build something with the intention to build something in the future that never happens, or there was something that was before that a new attraction's there, but you can still see the remnants of it, like the pack mules in Frontierland and Disneyland. Like, some people might not know, you literally were able to ride on a donkey at Disneyland. I don't know if you can see it, but that's what that poster is back there. You had the pack mules, you had the mine train, and the stagecoaches. And so you could still see the remnants of the stagecoaches, the pack mules, and stuff along those lines at Disneyland. So that's when I look down here, I can kind of see where the track was gonna go. Yes, okay. So when Disneyland first opened, you could ride a stagecoach, like an actual stagecoach with a horse. You could ride like a Conestoga wagon. You could ride on donkeys, like a little pack mule train. You could get on the donkeys and you would go on this like 30-minute trip through Adventureland. Another attraction they had a couple of years later was the mine train, my mom's personal favorite attraction. And it was like a little mine train, and you went through this little valley, and there was geysers and animatronics, and animatronics is a bit loose, but they were there, they moved a little. And there was a cool area that they added eventually where you went through a cave with some crystals and stuff like that. But yeah, you could ride donkeys back in the day. And so I'm just looking at this and just seeing that as a good representation of that. So that's what it was going to be. It was going to have a lot of like fun little like dips and swirls and animals and stuff. And eventually I was going to try to figure out how to do it, is have the ride actually drop you down the volcano. Isn't that been cool? And if I couldn't have done it on the front, I actually designed the back very plainly. So you can see here, the back is relatively plain. There's not a lot of detail. The reason was, if I couldn't do it in the front, I was gonna do it in the back here. And that's where the drop would have occurred, somewhere up at the top here. So let me go back into, so I have a cursor. You can see like right here, would have dropped the boat down into this little lagoon right there. So that was the idea for that. And I had actually two other ideas. It was going to be just a boat ride, or it was also going to have a roller coaster. So I think in the end I was pretty certain I was going to stick to potentially just the boat ride, but the roller coaster for this area was also in play. So that is the boat ride. So yeah, it went up the volcano, went crashing down the volcano. It went all around the area, and still will happen, is the best part. I have decided that I am 100% now going to continue working on Scarland as just fun side projects. And we're 100% going to do that. So moving over here, I want to build like a Swiss Family Robinson Tarzan treehouse design. And so this pathway will lead to that. I have a really good idea for it. So I'm going to build a tree, and then in the tree design, I'm going to build like a dead tree trunk that's like up here. But that tree, I'm going to put a flying machine that's an elevator for a wheelchair lift for, people with wheelchairs who want to get up to the top of the tree. They can, because there's a dead like tree trunk that actually has an elevator in it that goes up to the treehouse. It'll be amazing. So I think that'll look really, really cool. One other reason why I chose jungle and a bit of oak is to blend into that, to make it look like it's part of the jungle. So it looks like it's like a giant trunk of a tree. So that's why this actually was designed, the color palette that it was, to try to blend in with that, just to try to kind of make that feel like it's part of the tapestry of the jungle in a way. This side over here, I was inspired by something that the artist did for Scarland. If we scroll back up to the top, I really want to build this pirate ride area right there. I want that pirate area to exist in Scarland so badly. When I saw that, it reminded me, if we go back to Disneyland history again, in Fantasyland, there once was a Chicken of the Sea pirate ship in Fantasyland at Disneyland, and Chicken of the Sea was a tuna company sponsoring the restaurant, which was in Captain Hook's boat, and you could buy a chicken or a tuna sandwich or whatever. When they went to remodel Fantasyland in the 80s, they wanted to relocate the Chicken of the Sea, Captain Hook's pirate ship, and Skull Rock, which was attached to it. But unfortunately, when they went to move it, there was so much like dry rot and termites that the whole thing collapsed on itself. Today in Disneyland's Peter Pan, you can actually see the remnants of the original Chicken of the Sea ship in Peter Pan's attraction. It's where like Peter Pan's flying the pirate ship, Wendy and them are at the end. That's a remnant of the old Chicken of the Sea ship from back in the day. So I want to build that because I absolutely love that, and I think it's such a fantastic idea, and I really want to build that little pirate lagoon over there. I think would be super fun. Let's scroll back down here a little bit while we're in our technology phase. Let's see, where are we at the moment? All the plants. Look at all the plants. Look at that. Oh my gosh, the plants are incredible. I just looking at this just like in awe. It's so cool. That's so cool. Okay, we'll look at that in just a moment, but let's pop back over here. So I do want to start working on that, and this area will be a restaurant and a shop. Will it be an attraction? I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go, but I think it's going to go back here is my other thing. I want to build another haunted mansion, and I want it to be off this beaten track over here, or it could go in Fantasyland. I'm not sure, but I will be building a haunted mansion, which is kind of a fun Disneyland fact. Is like the haunted mansion is in New Orleans Square in Disneyland. It is in Liberty Square in Disney World. It is in Fantasyland in Tokyo, and Frontierland in Disneyland Paris. Isn't that interesting? It's in different lands in all the different parks. Anyway, I do want to build that over there, and I want to add more stuff like concession stands along this pathway to bring a little bit more life into this area. And one thing this Scarland art book had that I thought was really beautiful was a lot of animatronic animals. So I'd like to add more than just the elephant in here. The Scarland art book inspired me so much for this area. But yeah, we need to build something right here. And sometimes the unintended consequence of like things in the world is look at how cool Grian's base looks from here and the Buttercup headquarters. It really adds, I think, to the Adventureland area. You can see like trees out in the distance, which I think is really cool. So that is our Adventure Isles area. Very unfinished, unfortunately. But as I said, I plan to come back here and start working on some stuff. And yeah, you can't put this much effort into a volcano and not see the vision all the way through, right? You just can't. You can't put all this effort into it and not see it through.
Speaking of pirates, I have always liked to think about the volcano being tied in some way to your pirate base in Season 6. Have you ever considered having any Easter eggs to that build your season in Scarland?
That's cool. Oh, so like references to other seasons in Scarland. Well, I mean, there's a few Easter eggs once you think about it. I was going to say no, but then I got to say like the Vex game show from Season 6 has an Easter egg we looked at a little while ago. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. The roller coaster was supposed to be in the interior of the volcano. That's why I made this area so big. So yeah, I wanted to pop in there and show you that. Wanted to pop in there and show you that. Okay. All right. Are you guys prepared? Are you prepared for even more sadness? See, I like this too. I like seeing like B-Dubs' base just poking out over the hedge right there, because it kind of gives you like a sense of like, what is that, right? Like, you know, his base is so interesting because it both blends kind of like a fantasy and a sci-fi vibe, that it's like the most perfect like transition between what would have been sci-fi land or sci-fi city and the fantasy realm. So it's cool. It's got like such a cool like little vibe there. I love it. What happened to Papa K's head? Why of all the armor stands did Papa K's head turn black? I don't get it. He's supposed to have this like, oh my gosh, it's Queen Jellie. But no, he is just, That's so weird. I wonder what happened there. Anyway, so this is the land that never was. And this is Sci-Fi Land or Sci-Fi City. I could never decide the name, but anyway. Let's just run through the concept for this. So in Disney theme parks, I find Tomorrowland to be very boring these days. It's kind of a lot of nothing. It's a few IPs thrown together. And one of the ideas that I had as somebody who wanted to be an Imagineer was to create something called Tomorrowland City. And so the basic concept is if you go into Adventureland and you look up into the facade, you can see a lot of life. It feels like people live there. The balconies have like knickknacks and chairs and drinks and stuff set down on like tables and stuff. And that is just creating the feeling of being alive. And when you go through Tomorrowland, it's just a lot of like quirky music and some shiny facades. I wanted to create a sci-fi city that feels alive and breathing. And so I used to like mock up ideas of like, how do you make this actually look like a futuristic city that people live in? And so that's what I wanted to create here on Hermitcraft, was that idea that I had so many years ago for Sci-Fi City, or for Tomorrowland City that I was going to call Sci-Fi City. And so I don't know if you're familiar, like Tomorrowlands are kind of boring these days. They need life, they need energy, they need cohesive theme. And they don't have it. Like Disneyland, for instance, it's like a graveyard of former attractions. You have the People Mover / Rocket Rod tracks that's abandoned. You have the old carousel building that is like, I don't even know what, a DVC temporary structure. There's just so much abandoned stuff in it. The old Honey, I Shrunk the Audience / Captain EO Theater abandoned. You have the old arcade abandoned. It's just a sad state, right? The whole old People Mover track area abandoned. It's just such a... No, we're not going to be putting Stitch's Great Escape anywhere near Tomorrowland. You guys, you silly gooses. Anyway, I just want to create something that feels like a city. So it could either be a very like retro theme and design, or I was thinking recently how cool a Tomorrowland would be if it was themed in the aesthetic. Not that it would be themed after, but just kind of in that like really Fallout vibe. I think would be so cool. Like if you took that like super like futuristic retro design that Fallout uses and kind of like take inspiration from that and make that into a Tomorrowland, it's timeless. That's the biggest problem with Tomorrowland, is it often becomes Todayland instead of Tomorrowland. It becomes Todayland because it just becomes outdated. But if you create something very like stylized in that like futuristic aesthetic, it would be so cool. You could add so much life, so much energy in it. Obviously you wouldn't want to theme it to, you know, Fallout and Disney aren't really compatible, but just that aesthetic of that like 1950s 1960s future retro, oh, it would be beautiful. And that's what this would have been. So we would have done a main drag that would have crossed right here. So it would have gone straight out here. It would have crossed the super speedy highway and would have ended right about here. And there would have either have been a giant rocket up into the sky, or it would have been like a planetarium thing with like a sun and planets orbiting it. So I hadn't decided which one, but it was going to be either that. So the main drag across here, and then there would have been like futuristic buildings on the sides of it. And from there would have been restaurants and shops and other attractions I would have added. But the main idea was kind of having the main street going down, and that ends in a rocket or like a planets like orbiting in like a cool design. So what the heck is that smell? It smells like smoke. I hope not. Weird. Somebody burned something, guaranteed. Anyway, okay. So there had been like spaceships and all sorts of fun stuff across here. Now, good old Mythical Sausage built such a cool. This is so cool. He built the Razor Crest. Like what in the world? This was so cool. So I wanted to put this up in the air on like a platform or something, and I think would have been really cool. So yeah, sadly this area wasn't to be, but it will be someday. So yeah, so in essence, this pathway would have transitioned very similar to our adventure area, but this would have been more futuristic, obviously. And it would have gone over here. There'd been a cool marquee that you went under. To the sides, you'd see a spaceport with ships parked. You'd have like a restaurant over here, 2 shops on either end, and then the big rocket, or like I said, or like a solar system orbiting. Now, what would the rides have been? So one of the things I thought would have been fun if we had like a station for the super speedy highway. And I don't know, I feel like I had some other like this ride ideas, but now I'm like drawing a blank. I know there was going to be a dark ride. A dark ride, for reference, would be like an Indiana Jones, a Pinocchio. So like dark, you're in a car and a story is being played out in front of you. Yeah, I don't know. I know that I had an idea, but I just don't remember what it was. there was a dark ride idea. Anyway, that was the land that sadly never was. But what was the castle, and it actually did happen. And the castle actually got built. And that makes me super happy. More of Cleo's incredible armor stands right here. I love this, the little Cleo getting off of the car, going up into the fantasy realm. And our famous driver. I love how many times we use B-Dibs' heads. Now you might be wondering, why is B-Dibs' head so prominently shown here? Well, he had a shop that he sold his heads at. And I had so many B-Dibs heads that it was so easy to use them for all the cast members, which was great. So we move over to the castle. So this area is designed to have people wait for the fireworks. So this is why this area was designed so big. Like, see, I got so old waiting for the fireworks show that never happened. So I grew a beard and I became gray, waiting for the fireworks show. Let's see. Hives, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subscriptions to the community. That is incredibly generous of you and very much appreciated. That's really, really nice of you to give those subscriptions to the chat. Thank you so much. So that's why this area is big, is that traditionally with like a castle area, especially in castle parks post Disneyland, they would make this area pretty darn big. So like Tokyo, Magic Kingdom, Disneyland Paris, because they knew that there'd be a fireworks spectacular. So a lot of people would want to wait, have a place to watch the show from. So they built this area really, really big. In these little stands here, we have Mr. Whimsical himself selling churros. Then on this side over here, we have the Scarland balloon stand, which I think is super, super cool. So you got the balloons, you got the churros there. And now we walk up into the Scarland Castle, which, wow, this took so long. I hate castles. I despise Minecraft castles. So I finally had to make my first Minecraft castle. Like, the reason I hate Minecraft castles is like in like 2011, 12, every castle was made out of oak and cobble, and it was so boring. Maybe like 10, 11, 12, that era. And so I swore I'd never make a Minecraft castle. I was so tired of seeing Minecraft castles. I was so sick of seeing cobble and oak wood castles that I swore off of making a castle ever in Minecraft. So I just gave up, right? So I just gave up. Is it less than 200 blocks tall? Is that a reference to the blinking red light for the ATC? For the FAA regulations? That's a great point. I should have made it under 200 blocks. I don't think it is. I think it's over it. So it needs a red blinking light now, according to FAA rules. Anyway, so I swore if I'd ever make a castle. And then I finally came to a point where I'm going to have to make a castle for Scarland. And so I wanted to try to make something very fantasy, inspired a lot by obviously the different Disney castles, and then kind of putting our own like spin in and around it. And I think it came out. I think it came out cool. I think it came out cool. But yeah, I'll probably never build another castle, but I'm happy with it. So this is the castle. As we lead up here, the exterior was inspired by Sleeping Beauty, one of my absolute favorite, not so much my favorite movie. Like I could take the movie, take it or leave it. But what I love about Sleeping Beauty is the art. So I think his name was Ivan Earl. I might be mixing that completely up, but Walt hired a very like, kind of like crotchety guy that none of the other artists liked all that much to do all of the artwork, and had to teach all the other artists how to make his very specific style. So if you go back to Sleeping Beauty, look at the backgrounds and how stylized they are. They are incredibly beautiful. We can actually see a reference to that if we go to technology here. Pink on Pink made a perfect representation of what I'm talking about. Let's see, Scarland Castle, beautiful artwork by Hoffman. There's the dragon coaster right there. Let me see if I can find that particular piece of artwork I'm thinking of. Don't see it. Let me scroll back up here. Let me scroll back up and see if I can see it. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. This one. Here it is.
Lost Cult Game Cheered X300. Could part of the sci-fi area be an enclosed dome? Inside, a black concrete dome with decor like the Nether Hub, and rides like super-fast monorail, spaceship tour, with Razorcrete at the center, and teleportation tubes.
Dude, that's
The outside
amazing!
of the dome could be like a moon landing landscape and space station metropolis.
That's such a fantastic idea. Kind of like an all-encompassing, like lots of small rides, and then you look up, it's like space. Oh, dude, that's such a great idea. This is the artwork I'm talking about. This like very stylized Ivan Earl look is so cool. So that was what inspired that is what inspired the landscape across here. So we have these Ivan Earl inspired trees that are squared off like that, and then kind of as you like push off into the distance, we have these little pine trees here. Now you'll also notice that there are some theme park touches. Because the castle is also a stage for shows, we have parade lighting. So we have lighting, and we have speaker systems and projectors. So if you look at this, you have the light that shines up there to match like the pink and the white of the castle. Then lower down, you have kind of these oranges and yellows to kind of match the lower area. And then you have these observers are designed to look like projectors for 3D projection mapping on the side of the castle. And then down below, you have the speaker systems. And these are obscured by all the trees. So the trees are designed to obscure it from the guest's view of the castle, so they never have to see it. And they're there nicely presented behind the trees. And there's little antennas here to control them. Anyway, so looking back down here, this was some serious landscaping. I listened to the, what was it? The Aragon books. What am I thinking? I listened to every Aragon book. Every single one, the Dynasty series, while I was doing this landscape in the castle. So it's kind of funny remembering that, like listening to those books while I was doing this. So this is all detailed, even the floor of the ocean, all completely detailed. And then of course we have the beaches, you know, looking fancy. We have the waterfall going up like this, looking fancy. So you got a little bit of waterfall. And then, of course, all of these tunnels, we'll talk about those in a little bit. Those were meant to be something. And then down back here, you can see just the incredible amount of detail that went into working on this area. You know, those books are long, guys. Those books, some of those books are over 20 hours. Some of those books are over 20 hours. And you know what? I think this took longer than all those books because I started listening to the Thrawn trilogy while I was working on this too. We'll look at that in a minute, but you can see how this all is just absolutely insane. So if we put our feet back on the ground, we walk up this little stone walkway, and I wanted it to meander as you went up here, so you got little views of different things, and you can see the volcano there, And as you walk up here, like so, you can see just the majesty of the castle, and you cross the little bridge over the stream. And then inside the castle, and as a fun little touch, I tried to bring back an old lighting trick. We never seem to use this anymore, and that is actual like fire. So I was like, why don't we use fire again? We never use fire for anything. Let's see, Paperbird, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subscriptions to the chat. That is very generous and much appreciated. Very, very much thank you for that. Thank you for the support. So you can see that, and as you could tell, there's a little bit of forced perspective as these continue to get a little smaller as you go down, and the walls also mimic that. I also love the pattern on the wall. So I'm using andesite, stone with a button in the center, and when you step back a little bit, look at how cool that looks. It's just a really cool like pattern to make what otherwise would have been a very blank and boring wall kind of stand out and look a little bit better. And if we fly up a little bit, you can see we have a chandelier up there and some glass.
Cheered X300. Scarland is always incredible to look at with little Disney Easter eggs, and I'm still maintaining that you are definitely a Minecraft Imagineer.
Why, thank you. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you. Very, very, very nice. As you can see down below here, that is another Easter egg. That is the gold spike that you'll find at Disneyland. If you go to the center of the castle at Disneyland, there is a gold spike in the center of it. This represents that. And once again, this is the block that travels all the way to the entrance of Scarland. So this block, if you walked all along this, if you walked like this, everything in Scarland is lined up to that one gold block to the center of the park. Pretty cool. Anyway, we move over here, and this might be some of the stuff that people didn't actually see, because at the end of the last season, like, people were kind of checked out. So not a lot of people saw the stuff that we built, sadly. So sad. Anyway, this is also extremely difficult. I wanted to finish Scarland before. So when we were working on this stuff last year at this time, like, Jellie wasn't doing great. I don't know if we thought that she was going to pass, but at that point, but she wasn't doing great. And in the event that she did pass, I wanted to finish this for her. Because Scarland, in its sense, is entirely dedicated to Jellie. Like, this is Jellie's realm. So just like the castle at Disney World, Jellie's Royal Table restaurant is here. And there's should be like a cast member here waiting for people to come up to the podium. But yeah, this is the big royal table. So you can see the glass work here is just so fun. Like, even though these don't actually function as windows, I try to at least give out the vibe of a window. And so, of course, we have Jellie in the glass there. And then look at the royal table. Look at how cool this looks. It just needs life. It needs food. It needs people. It just needs more work.
500. Much love to you. Please don't apologize for being so excited about this beautiful labor of love. Your passion shines through.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. This, as I said, I'm soulbound to Scarland forever. Like, this is my happy place. This is my happy place. It just needs people. It needs food. It needs waiters, you know. And look at the ceiling. Look at the ceiling up here. Isn't that cool? Absolutely love it. Okay. All right, here we go, guys. There we go. There we go. This is the stuff that I finished at the last minute before the season ended. And these are the administrative offices of Scarland. So if we go back to Disneyland lore, the castle at Disney World was originally supposed to have an apartment for all of Walt's family. And when Walt passed, those plans were scrapped, and those floors were never completed. Soon afterwards, Disneyland put in administrative offices and their like operators. So if you called like Disney World, the operators were actually working in the castle. So there was administrative offices there for a long time. Eventually those got cleared out. And then when the Year of a Million Dreams celebration happened in like 2008, give or take, they actually finally went ahead and built an apartment inside the castle. So there actually is like a quote unquote hotel. It's not technically a hotel. They can only give it it's some weird like regulations. They can only give that away. They can't charge people money for it. And the same at Disneyland, but then they turned that in the Royal Street something. Anyway, so I kind of took that vibe of like the apartment and put it in here along with the administrative buildings. So the first thing you'll see is the Scarland merch offices for all the different merch products. I always picture Hoffman in here just working on all sorts of balloons and stuff. Someday I would like to actually build official offices right here. I just didn't get to it because I was just trying to get some interior work done before the season ended. So you walk through these little corridors here. This is all inside the castle. I tried to make these look like windows to the outside, so windows you would have seen on the outside, even though they're technically just to the interior of the castle. Oh, it scared me.
500. You could totally put these secrets of Scarland in YouTube shorts of things you didn't know about Scarland. I mean, I would watch them.
That would be cool. This will show up on the VOD channel too, of course, if you missed any parts and you want to take in any bits. So Scarland Theater. So this is like an area of like if the the people running Scarland need to like do a theater presentation or something like that. And then over here is the Scarland office cafeteria. So all the employees of Scarland can come into a delightful cafeteria. And as we progress further up into the castle, we see the park ops. I really want to build this, but I have like no room except for this little spot right here. I do eventually want to build something there. So park operations is, making sure that the restrooms are flowing, food is being delivered, people are making it to work, things along those lines. So that's park operations. We'll look at that in just a minute, but that's Scar's apartment tower. And if we work our way up a little bit further, the Scarland food department. I don't know if there's any room back here to make something. Maybe, we could do like a staircase down, something like that. I do want to make offices for these things. And then we work it up here and, oh gosh, guys, what I'm about to show you is actually my favorite thing in all of Scarland. I've said many things are my favorite, but what we're about to see is my actual favorite thing. And then this over here is the Scarland creative offices. As you can see, there's a bit of a hierarchy of things as you progress upwards. The Scarland creative department should always be prominent over spreadsheets. So this area I'd like to build and do something maybe in this area. So like I could do like a pathway to here and then build the Scarland creative offices over there. But what we're about to see is really cool when we get up to the top of the stairs. But just some artifacts from season 9, of course. So some fun little bits and things like hugs and kisses from King Ren, Scar Follow Me, 8 p.m. BST. That was for the crossover event. And then this one was a Ren you remember Ren had the challenges for the hermits to complete for favor for him when he was the king. This was organized a server event, and then I added Hermitcraft charity event. Anyway, so if we work our way up to the top here, this is my favorite thing in all of Scarland, is that view. That view, can you see that well on screen, guys? That is my favorite thing in the entire Scarland, is that view out that window. It's so sad that while we were on Hermitcraft, I couldn't have taken advantage of seeing that view every day. Isn't that like so cool? Like that view is my absolute favorite thing in all of Scarland. So like, it's these windows right here. So like castle wise, if we look at this, so if we go up here, those are the windows right there. And there we are. Look at us. There we are. So isn't that cool? I absolutely love that. So yeah, that's the view. Can you imagine just like, this is your office? Like every day you just get up and you just walk down there. Isn't that cool? Once again, if you want to get real technical, guys, the center of this staircase goes to the gold spike below, goes through that car, lines up perfectly with the hub statue there, all the way down the center of the track to the flagpole and out. Perfectly in line and synced. And of course, we have the Scarlet Milkshake Bar. You gotta have somewhere fun for the employees to enjoy, right? Somebody's banging on the door. Anyway, if we come up the stairs here, look at this. We got our office. You always gotta have like a cool office at the top, right? With some fun mementos of Hermitcraft Season 9, of course. Got Hawkeye. You got the last tribute to the original Vex face. And then, the Hawkeye bow, the ears, and TCG packs. Oh, that was the Terminate. How long have we been streaming? I'm failing my words. The tournament. I cannot say tournament. Oh wait, I said it that time. My brain works in mysterious ways, my friends. Anyway, and then over here, of course, is my office. So you have like just lots of little things from the parks, like Deathloop from Decked Out. And then over here, we've got Decked Out Coin, a Decked Out Crown, a Burning Dark Key, and of course, our third place finish. And then looking out once again, like the view out here is so fun. It makes, oh man, I wish I could have enjoyed this view on season 9 so much. Like it is just so cool, like looking out at all of the cool detail. I love it. I love it. Isn't that the coolest view ever? Oh, love it. So yeah, that's the office. Really fun detail in here. Lots of little bits and bobs. And then this staircase winds all the way up to the top. And this would have been like a really fun Elytra jump off point. You could go up to the top here and then jump off.
Stormageddon 07 cheered Dex10000 for Jellie.
Oh, Stormageddon, thank you. That's very generous of you. Hamadajin, Hamaweavin. That's very, very kind and very generous of you. Thank you very much. That is very generous. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. So yeah, that's so if you hear me talk about how much I want blue blocks in Minecraft, the origin of my desire for blue blocks is the spires. Because when I knew the color palette I wanted to go for this build, and blue was going to be a major like component to the castle, and not having those blue blocks was kind of a bummer. Thankfully, we did have the option of ice and packed ice, which worked well. But having actual blue blocks in Minecraft that have, half slabs and stairs would have been phenomenal for the design of the castle. So yeah, kind of bummed out that never actually, we still don't have those in the game. But some more facts, things that didn't happen now for the Scarland Castle. By the way, we will go to the special tower. My actual like living quarters is inside here. We'll get to there in just a minute. But the things that didn't happen, sadly, for the castle was a fireworks show. So I originally was going to do a creeper farm in this turret here, and you guessed it, another one here, and then, or I was going to do a gunpowder and a sugarcane farm. I forgot what it was gonna be. Gunpowder and sugarcane farms in both those turrets, and then we were gonna have nightly fireworks shows that went off at the castle. That was another thing I didn't get done. Very sad. Very, very sad. Still sad. Still sad about that. Also, if you want to play a fun game, you can find all the crafting benches that I left while building. Well, I was building this, and I've removed some of these, so I'm surprised I'm still seeing crafting bench. Oh my god, there's more. How many crafting benches did I leave here? There's another one. What the? That is so funny. I removed some of those crafting benches. That's hilarious how many are left up here from building the castle. That's so funny. Anyway, there's more things that I didn't finish in the castle we'll get to. Wait, how do I go back? Oh, am I in? Oh, I'm in spectator. Oh, I thought I was in free cam. We'll get to it in a second, but look at the view one more time, guys. One more time. One more time. Everybody get close to your monitors. Come on, everybody get close, get close, get close. Look at that. Look at that view out there. Ah, absolutely love it. So if we work our way back on down here, we can cross the bridge that goes out to this little tower here. So you can see that's us over there. Wait, hold on. Hello there. I love that. Hello there. But you can see that's the bridge that we are crossing on the castle. And once again, look at the view. Look at the view. Amazing. And then there's a giant like library here. I was reading so many books when I was working on this, or listening. People get mad when I say I listen to a lot of books on Audible these days because I'm like playing, grinding out, editing, and I can listen to get two things done at the same time. So I made a giant library there. And as we work our way up to the top here of that tower, we have my bedroom. So yeah, this is my little apartment. If I can jump out of there, that is. We have our elven bed from the Matador Mattress Shop. And of course, we have some painting going on, similar to what I did in season 9. And that's hence the multiverse thing I talked about in season 10. So we have like some paints down here on the floor. We have our brushes. We've got one of my favorite MCC skins of all time. I still don't know what that thing is. So it's like a horror game, and there's like animatronics, but then they're like scary bears, and I think there's like a Chuck E. Cheese. Anyway, forget it. Got little chests over there where I put all my treasures. We have our hats and stuff like that in here, because all stories connect in the end, as we all know. Yeah, it's just like a really fun little place to chill. Like, you got your bed, you go over here, you work on some designs for future builds in Scarland. You got paper scattered around. This is literally a great representation of my room. Actually, it is a giant pigsty. And of course, that's where we are right now. Like, there's our name tag, and we're inside the turret of the giant tower. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? What are those? The sheriff's wings? No way! Those are Jimmy's wings from the crossover. I forgot. I picked those up after he died going through the portal. Oh, that's a cool little touch there. I was like, whose wings are those? I don't even remember putting those there. That's really cool. And of course, the swaggin' hat, pirate hat. That's really cool. Some of the other hats are in the office. Buy them. Exactly. So yeah, that is the apartment here. Now we've got to look at the things that never happened. We've got to see the things that have never happened that I'm so sad about, but maybe will, and someday will happen, which will be really, really cool. So yeah, it's nice that the castle does have an interior. It does have some energy and things happening, which makes me very happy. So if we jump down the elevator chute, we will land once again down here at Jellie's Royal Table, and we will cross over to where an attraction was going to go. This was our dragon coaster. This was the escape. It was like the idea was like it was like a treasure heist, if you will. The dragon protects the treasure, right? The treasure, and you're on a roller coaster and you're trying to steal it. So you go down the corridor like this. You go whoosh whoosh down like a cave. Then you opened up into a big treasure vault. There's a big dragon, and then woof, you take the roller coaster takes you out. And as you try to escape the tunnels, the dragon is like putting down claws and stuff along those lines. And then you pop back out of the caves in the river over here. Like, you would have popped out of like the waterfall, maybe like right there. And oh, it would have been so cool. I still want to do it. And if we refer back to technology, we go back here.
Fireball 8D6 cheered X500. I did a Disney World internship after culinary school. My favorite thing was learning about the history of it, so hearing all of the thought process behind Scarland is so fantastical.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And dude, that must have been fun. That must have been a fun thing. So thank you, Fireball. So this here is in the Scarland art book. The artist like captured like exactly what I wanted. Like, look at the cars. Like, it's so cool, isn't it? It's so cool. Like the artwork. Can you guys see it well on the screen? Are you able to see it well? So you can see like there's a track layout that they designed, which is fantastic. Vehicles, interiors. I love the banners with like the Jellie and the dragon there. And then of course the dragon with the head with the roller coaster cart going through it. Isn't that cool? So yeah, that was that's a great idea of what it would have looked like. So yeah, unfortunately it didn't happen, but doesn't mean we can't happen, because we've got a lot of room down here. We got a lot of room. The whole point of having this extra space down here was to build rides and create beautiful things. So lots of room down here to eventually create some stuff.
X300. When you made Yukaboos in S10 and spoke about multiverses, it reminded me of Studio Ghibli and Howl's Moving Castle. When he changes the arrow on the door, it goes into different multiverses.
Really?
Yukaboos and multiverse reminds me of that.
That's super cool. Could somebody link that to me in the Discord? I want to watch whatever that is. So this was like, so this back here was kind of, let's go back to like a little bit of Scarland history. So Scarland's history, before I get to, I feel like I have to talk about this history component to it to make sense here. So my original idea was, because I knew Mumbo and Graham were here, and I thought it'd been fun if we were all kind of like lined up across here. We had like a little road and mailboxes and stuff. And the idea was we would all be connected with a road, and Scarland was actually going to go this way. So Scarland was going to go straight out this way. And it was going to go that way. So then I get a message from Doc, and he's like, Scar, I need the land. And I'm like, what? Because I was literally that day like lining up pathway like markers and stuff. I need the land. It's the only place in the entire world I can build. And I'm like, oh, the only spot. But Doc, that's where Scarland's gonna go. And he goes, Scar, I need it. I'm like, okay. So Doc needed this spot because of like river biomes crisscrossing for like farm rates or something or other. So I'm like, what the? Did Doc's child come on Hermitcraft? What in the world? What is this? Why is... This is a troll. This is some kind of troll that nobody told me that there was a troll. Why is it this color? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What is this? Scabland? Scab? What in the world? Did anybody ever tell me this was a thing? Was I supposed to just run into this at some point, or did I forget? Like, what in the world? Yeah, well, yeah, red just triggered me. Like, what is this? Oh my... No, the spires are made out of magenta. This is the worst block in the entire game. This is the worst, absolute worst, block in the entire game. Oh my god, the spires are made out of it. Honestly, that's kind of fire. Kind of fire, right? I think these little like quilts are actually kind of cool looking. You know, if you just in your brain deleted the horrible magenta glazed terracotta blocks, these are kind of cool. Those are kind of cool. I kind of like those. Yeah, they're kind of cool, right? This is just like, I guys, like what? Anyway, so Doc was like, Scar, I need this. And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to figure out how to like redesign Scarland. And so instead of having this like we're all lined up on a road, I kind of reoriented it to face this way, which in one way was great because it meant that there was going to be a sunset behind the castle. And I think that just makes the whole thing perfect, is that the sunset sets back here. So that was such a great side effect of having to move the park over here, was to have that sunset. Now the drawback, and coming back to what I was going to mention, was that meant that we pushed up right against the shopping district. And we had to terraform this whole section over here, which took, you know, probably added 2+ months or more to the actual time of getting Scarland done, because otherwise, if we went that way, we wouldn't have had to have terraformed, but this way we had to terraform. But in some ways, I think it was better that we created like such fun, iconic like topography across here. So I think that came out really, really nice in the end. The only issue is that we didn't have a lot of room to build Fantasy Realm. So the idea with Fantasy Realm was to create kind of like a medieval like village. And Tengu was going to build us a Ferris wheel, which he still owes me, and some other fun stuff. So the idea for Fantasy Realm eventually became that I was going to build the Fantasy Realm buildings and attractions and stuff along those lines, hugging the cliff sides. So all of the buildings would be built along the cliffs here. So all of them would be built along the sides here. And I think that would have been so cool to see all the old-fashioned medieval buildings like hugging the cliffs, and maybe even some stuff hanging off of the cliffs. I think would have looked really, really cool. Now, the theme of the Ferris wheel was supposed to be like a windmill. So it kind of like blended into the village idea, but still was an attraction and stuff like that. So I think at the end, that would have been a more solid look than actually just having like a flat ground and some buildings on it. To have the buildings actually hanging off of the side of these sheer cliffs would have been phenomenal. That would have been really cool, right? So fun. So fun. So yeah, that was like a fun little like Easter egg on how that area was supposed to go. Did this was so impressive that Joe made. Did he ever finish this? Wow, he did finish it. I was so laser focused trying to finish the interiors of some of those buildings. I didn't really realize he built like the little plungery thing and the interior here with the paddles. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad he was able to get that done, because I know he was working just as hard as I was trying to get Scarland done in a little like money slots. Fantastic. I'm glad he was able to do that. That's good. So yeah, that was Fantasy Realm. Apparently the world's not loading. So that was Fantasy Realm. Wow. Oh man. This has been quite a delight. Let's look at something really ugly. So this is the lower Utilidors of Scarland. So a little bit of Disneyland history. Let's look at something pretty while I tell you Disneyland history. So Disneyland history-wise, when the company or when Walt bought the land for Disneyland, other companies eventually bought up a ton of land around them and basically encased them. Hence Harbor Boulevard had a lot of like kind of like poorly put together hotels and stuff like that. So when they thought about the Florida concept, the Florida project, they wanted to buy up as much land so they could create what they wanted without a lot of interference and stuff like that. And one of the things they did with Disney World was create something called the Utilidors. And Utilidors was tunnels that are under the Magic Kingdom that sprawl out in different directions, so cast members can get to areas of the park without like going through guest areas and this and that, and everything was contained in this underground city.
Cheered X500. Hello Scar, how are you doing today? My question is, are the dragon eggs still under Scarland?
Yes. I'm doing wonderful here in Scarland. Thank you for asking. I will show you those dragon eggs. Thank you for reminding me, because that is quite funny. So they created these Utilidors, right? And inside that, you could basically access different areas of the park. There's, cast member services and storage and all sorts of stuff. All the piping, the pneumatic trash system, all that stuff is tucked under Disney World. Now, obviously, Disney World is built in Florida and they have a high water table, so you can't really build underground there. So Disney World is actually 14 feet above its original ground level. They actually built Disney World up so that the ground level is actually the Utilidors, and the top level is where guests are, which actually like 14 plus something feet above the original spot. So that's how they did the underground tunnels in a high water table area like Florida. Okay, so reason for that story is down below here is kind of my Utilidors. We have so much trash down here. This was, obviously the original ground area. There's a lot of Easter eggs down here, so buckle up. This was my original storage area, which was an absolute disaster that Pearl was kind enough to help me organize. This is where I got all the leather for all the armor stands. Now you'll notice that this system here is set up strangely. I tried to do some redstone, some technology, and this was how I triggered the sound system to work in Scarland. So basically, I had a jukebox spaced out. So every little orange block here was a jukebox that was spaced out a certain amount of distance so that you could hear the announcements, the Welcome to Scarland announcement or the Good Night Scarland is closing announcement, no matter where you were in the park. Now that changed later on when we got some different stuff here, and Impulse was kind enough to build me a system that worked. So this would trigger in the mornings to say welcome to Scarland, and then at night to say good night, Scarland's closing. So this was my original take at doing that. If we pop over here, I had to send the signal to an area that wasn't obscured, so like right here. Obviously this has changed because this all broke. It was a mess, but you can just see the remnants of what once was. These are the storage system water canals. So items would drop down here So they would drop right here, and then they would span the area to go to all the different storage systems, which actually works. It's just broken at the moment, just needs fixing, but it actually works. Down here is the popcorn jumpers. So those are the things that shoot the popcorn up and down, as you can see. So you can see the popcorn bouncing. So those are the mechanisms that do that. These are my wheat fields for all my wheat needs. So, you know, if I need to make mud or things along those lines. These were how I got mobs up and down. Unfortunately, the mobs that I had moved all died. So you never saw that episode. It's tragic. It's very tragic. You can see these systems are everywhere because I had it span the entire area. This section right here is the redstone that Impulse installed for the turnstiles. So currently that's broken. I'm not sure how to fix that. And then this is another system to do something that I forgot. Oh, this plays Jono's Ren's Brothers' beautiful score he made for Scarland at the entrance gates. That's what it is. I was like, this plays the song. I was like, what is this? I don't think this works right now because of the way the world download works, sadly. But yeah, so that's my Utilidors of Scarland, which I think is it's just like a fun little Easter egg down below. Now there is something else that's interesting. As Scarland progressed, we basically paved over Tango's PvP arena. He had this PvP arena and just paved right over the top of it.
Thanks for this stream. My heart feels so full.
Aww.
I've loved playing in Scarland since the world download. In my download, I added extras to the shops, hotel, and cinema, but I can't wait to see you continue to build in the real version.
Oh, that's
Much
awesome.
Love.
I'm so glad you're able to, you know, put your own flair on Scarland. That's cool. That's cool. That's fantastic. I love how we just covered this entire thing over. There is more things like that to find down here. Like if you go explore, there's just so many little silly, like why is there just diamond blocks right there? But yeah, there's just silly things down here because this originally was like the ground that people walked on when the server first opened, like before Scarland. And, you know, all this was built up. Now, a question I get a lot, and I want to answer this. I should have brought a visual aid. Unfortunately, I didn't. But if you look at park maps of Disneyland, the backstage areas of the park are usually obscured by trees. Where you see trees in park maps are often areas of backstage. And so to make like transitions and to keep like the park, you know, visually like good, I planted these trees across here that create like a nice little boundary. I've often found that like if you just plant trees like this, like that, it looks so much better than just having a bunch of like ground that has a bunch of creeper holes in it. You see how much better that looks when you just cover it in trees, and it just looks really nice. So your builds just kind of pop out of the forest. And I often find that it just looks a lot better than leaving something like this. So other than not having this, I have this, and I think that looks so much better. So if you're in your own worlds and you want to kind of like make a nice transition into your base, cover it in trees. I think it looks fantastic. It looks way better than like a creeper riddled field. I think it looks pretty cool. And just for nostalgia, let's look over here real quick. This is where we started the season in our elven village here. So we have our little tree here. Have lots of little fun details inside here, like our bed. There's our bed. And outside, we have our elven cookie factory here. And of course, our the ravager's not up there, sadly. But this... Who put pandas over here? Who put pandas up here? Who put those pandas up there? I never saw those. Who put those there? Well, that's the Matador Mattress Shop. This is one of my favorite portals I have ever made. I think that portal came out so freaking good. I love that portal. That portal is the bee's knees. Oh no, I was oxidizing copper and I forgot to remove those. Just completely ruins my aesthetic. Yes, Cub did actually live under my base. He lived right over here. Yeah, Cub, I sold him my basement. Cub went down here and went crazy. He built all sorts of amazing farms and little details down here. Yeah, I sold Cub my basement. I sold Cub my basement, which is really cool. I did promise you guys the Hawkeye headquarters tour. This is what you guys have been waiting for this whole time. Forget Scarland over there. No, it's all about the Hawkeye headquarters. And that was the Hawkeye headquarters. The idea with Hawkeye, forgetting like the actual lore, how Hawkeye started, but the lore of Hawkeye is that he was an actual superhero that got washed up, and now he's just trying to make fame that he's kind of like washed up, so he's selling his autograph and stuff like that. That's like Hawkeye's like unofficial, official story. We got the fountain out front. So just don't forget about the protesters. They're fine. Then you got your interior here. You got the HQ. Oh my god, this place is so cool. I love Minecraft. Building in Minecraft is so freaking fun. We've got the posters here where you can buy the Hawkeye posters. You can buy the TCG cards. And of course, a little trial area where you can practice your Hawkeye skills. And then you can go up the stairs here. There were supposed to be Velocite lessons. I never got to that. That was supposed to be what happened here. I would teach people in my office Velocite. So lots of fun little Hawkeye Easter eggs here. Scary wolf that Hawkeye defeated. The card. Elytras. The Hawkeye volleyball from the movie. Because the idea is like that Hawkeye was like a real superhero that became like a movie star and then kind of got washed up and then kind of like rides the fame of his signature. That's kind of the story of Hawkeye. So this is the volleyball from a famous Hawkeye movie. The real TCG card being protected in that case. And then on this side, another like fantastic MCC skin as a computer. And you know, lots of little mementos and doodads and stuff like that. Now, hermits could come up to this level and buy actual Hawkeye bows. These are Hawkeye special edition numbered bows. It looks like we did sell 2 of them in the end. Did anybody actually pay for them? Oh, I can't see because the barrels aren't working for whatever reason. But yeah, this is the Hawkeye Armory right here. This is where people could, get their Hawkeye bow. Now, there was supposed to be another level just above this, and that's where the classroom was going to be, and I would teach people the power of the Velocite and how to take, hermits down with one shot. But unfortunately, that was another thing that did not happen. But inside here, we got a volleyball court, of course, and up at the top, everybody's got to chill out at the rooftop pool, and you just chill out right here. Rooftop pool, you got a little floaty. You got some towels and a great view of Hermitcraft Season 9. Got the Gigalogs over there. We got B-Dubs' incredible... That castle, I mean, come on. That thing is freaking amazing. Am I right? So you got that over there. Let's turn the music down just a smidge. And yeah, this is cool. This is cool. It's fun to look back a little bit. Oh, Pearl's shop. Pearl's shop was so cool in that it evolved constantly. Like it was never the same. Like every week or two, it was like new. She was always adding like different components, different accessories. I thought that was really cool. Wow, I didn't even know she built this other section back here. Wow, that's really neat. That's really cool. I don't know. We're getting a little bit of this away from Scarland, just a little bit of Season 9 and nostalgia. Here's a tomato her redstone needs, designed after the Apple store in Paris. That's really cool. And B-Dub's famous Moss shop. I spent so many diamonds in that shop. It was insane. That was insane. Oh, there it is. There it is. Besides Scarland, I probably spent the next most amount of time here in Cub's TCG arena. That's really cool. Oh man, I spent so much time in here. Oh my god, so much fun. So much fun. Cub knocked it out of the park with that. So fantastic. Absolutely incredible. And a little memorial to Miyamoto Mordo, or whatever B-Dubs' horse name was. What was it called? Miyamoto? Mia no more? I mean, that's its head, literally. The Hawkeye display case. Mi amore is no amore. Oh, that's funny. All right. We can't not see decked out real quick. Just a quick look at decked out for funsies. Well, we're here. We got to take a look at a few things. Am I right? We're all the way over here. We travel all the way to another season. Yeah, I would say this was a lot of time spent here too. A lot of time spent here. I really love my little nook, if you will. All the fun like things that we encountered in you know how diners always have a lot of like accessories, right? They have a lot of accessories. So I wanted to put that up on the wall and stuff like that. The baseball bat. Oh, it's Wayne Gretzky's baseball bat. That's awesome. I forgot about that. Oh, that's so funny, man. It's so easy to trigger tango. I love it. Oh, sad tango sounds. Yeah, it's fun. Oh, suit up. Oh God, I tried so hard to get suit up. I spent so much money to get suit up. Not real money, but decked out things to get that, and then Tango nerfed it. He nerfed it. What was this one? Oh, the dark room. I survived the dark room. Oh, that's fun. Oh my God. Oh, that's disturbing. And then we've got the pancakes back there, and I think this was my deck. Yeah, that's my deck. See, Finny? That's my deck. And of course, here's the scores. Looking cool. And then, oh, Jellie plushies are still there. Wow, this brings back so many wild memories, guys. Crazy, right? I don't think it actually works. I think I have to do a few things to make it work. Everybody did a great job on their little cubby holes. This was such a fun one, the one Cub made here, and Docks, and I think Impulses does some fun things. This is just disturbing on a few different levels. It looks like the interior of his head. I put like a coral block here. Which coral block was that? I don't even know. Where do you even get coral blocks these days? Oh yeah, here it is. That is Grian's brain inside of his head. Seriously, he didn't have these eyes on there. He didn't have those eyes on there. So I literally thought it was the interior of his brain. And so that's why I put the block like that. So many cool ones. They're just so, oh geez, this is just disturbing. The teeth, the fish, the guppy geyser. Oh, it's so fun looking back at this. So fun. So fun. Was there any other ones that I missed that were cool? Oh, Gems was fun. Gems had a lot of really nice stuff inside. A lot of cool artifacts that she got. And then Pearls, I think, had a bunch of really cool artifacts. Oh, yes. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's just a museum to decked out in here. That's incredible. Really, really cool. You liked Ren's. Where was Ren's? Ren's, I feel like Ren missed a lot of decked out, sadly. I feel like he missed it a lot. So I think he was on a trip. Oh yeah, Ren's is cool. It's like the interior of one of his Giga shops. Wow, that was nostalgic if I've ever felt nostalgic. That was a lot of nostalgia there. A lot of nostalgia. Wow, that was wild. I wanted to show you one more thing here. Let's go back to our technology. Going back to technology, guys. You guys are like, wow, Scar, you and your technology. I wanted to look at a few more pages of the Scarland art book. Like, look at this one with all the plushies. Look at that. And then down here, could you imagine if any of this was real merchandise? And remember, you can download the PDF of the Scarland art book and look at this. We'll just look at a couple quick things. I just want to show more appreciation to the artists and the Scarland art team. Like, such a phenomenal thing. Like, can you imagine if some of this was real? Oh. Look at the popcorn buckets. So notorious too, actually, Disneyland and Tokyo Disneyland, where they have so many fun popcorn buckets. So cool. Yeah, I would, if any of this was real, oh my gosh. Look at the jewelry. Like, that's just such skilled artwork. You can see just the ink, like the thought, not just that it's beautiful artwork, but it's thought through as being a real piece. I think is what like just makes it so special, is that you know, it's more than just beautiful art. It's more than beautiful art. It's like made to be a real thing. Fang Zhu would be so proud of you guys. It's so cool. Wow, I actually don't even remember this piece of art with the portraits. Dude, I don't even remember that piece of artwork. That's the fun thing. There's so much artwork that you might have missed something as you go through the book, and you come back and you're like, new artwork. New artwork. Ah, so cool. It's so cool. These posters. I would love to have this poster in real life. I want this poster in real life. I need these posters in real life. I need them. I need these posters. I really need these posters. There's that haunted mansion, guys. We're going to build that haunted mansion. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. Just absolutely incredible. Yeah, I would love if you guys could take a minute to go and download the PDF and just thank the artists, the art team. Look at the names and the credits in the book and thank them for their incredible work and what they did. Just absolutely phenomenal. And hopefully, we'll get an update from the art team about the donation to Give Kids the World soon and stuff like that, which will be really exciting for you guys to find out more details on that. Because the art book, remember, is all nonprofit. All the proceeds from it went to Give Kids the World, a fantastic charity that gives critically ill kids a vacation to Disney World with their families, which is just it's a really great thing. Talking to the CEO of it and hearing her story and how it's impacted kids' lives, especially kids that don't have much time, and that they could spend this last time they have with their families in a way that's outside of hospitals and stuff like that. And it's a wonderful place. So it's so fitting that charity supported, it being a kind of a theme park related thing, kind of this. It all just worked in a beautiful way, which is just incredible. Is that a wild rascal? Thank you for the resubscription, Rascal. 75 months. Absolutely incredible. And there we go, guys. So that is the tour that I finally got to do with Scarland. As I said, I really wanted to do this tour, but I just couldn't come back to Scarland for a while. After Jellie passed, it was so hard to come back to Scarland because when I ended that last episode, when I finally finished it all after all those weeks of wrapping everything up, when I landed right here and I was right next to Jellie, that was hard because I wanted to end it on positivity, but I knew I was both saying bye to Scarland and Jellie in a way, because as I said, this whole park is dedicated to Jellie, because Jellie was with me from the start of my YouTube career till the day she died. She was with me all the time, sitting right next to me. We were co-pilots in making the channel and everything. And so yeah, this is my way of thanking her and dedicating this whole beautiful park to her, because so it's good to finally do the tour. And for the future, guys, before I start crying anymore, we'll probably do episodes where I build something and do an episode showing it off or something, or maybe we'll do streams where we pop on once in a while and do a little work. So as it stands right now, Scarland will probably change dramatically going forward. I may take Scarland out of the Hermitcraft world and put it in its own world for lag reasons, because I don't know sustainably if I can add anything more at 32 FPS. So I'm going to start doing some work to potentially take this out and put it in its own world that can be worked on, or maybe find some things to take lag out of the world. Things along those lines that I want to do to try to make it a little bit easier to enjoy being on it, because it is very laggy. So guys, yeah, if there's anything else you want to know, or any anything you want to know, why I did something, how I did something, why I chose to do something, yeah, Q&A Scar as we wrap up. There are I know there were questions about why I chose the trolleys. I didn't want to do a horse-drawn carriage or anything like that. I wanted to do something unique, and the trolleys just seemed fun, creating little electric trolleys that go up and down. That was one thing I wanted to do. Let's see, green sign. What's green sign? There's one other thing I wanted to show you, but we'll remember that in a minute. Have you found green sign? What's green sign? What's the green sign stuff? Turn everyone's farms off. That's probably a good idea. You want to see the 3D printed Scar Castle? We'll look at that. Let's see, Q&A Scar. Are you going to continue building in survival or creative? I've been thinking about that for a year now, and I am almost certain I'm going to go into once I go out at this phase right now. This is Scarland in Hermitcraft, built entirely in survival, and the next version of Scarland will be a little bit more outside of Hermitcraft and probably built in creative, more done in creative, because I can't spend a month working on one project because that would take away from the current seasons of Hermitcraft or the life series and stuff like that. Where is the sign? Behind the castle. So yeah, if we want to see more Scarland, it'll probably have to be in creative. Otherwise, like, I just don't have any other ounces of times or energy. Where is this? In the trees somewhere. In these trees? Behind the castle? Q&A Scar, what is your favorite part of Scarland? Oh man, everything's about favorite, but my favorite is the hallway with the view in my office. Looking down the view into Main Street is my favorite by far. It's happened. But where's the sign? Q&A Scar, go back to Doc's perimeter and press the tunnel board one more time. I love the pins for Scarland. Pins would be cool for Scarland. Cords are probably 1900 by 2023. Oh, it's on this side. Guys, this is the side of the... Wait, no? Is it this side? Maybe it's over here? No. Why am I directionally unable to find my way? Okay, those coordinates aren't making sense. Okay, I have no idea. Go back. Go. It's on an oak tree. We saw it. Where did you see it? Was it over here? Oh man, now I'm just like super intrigued to find this thing. We're on a scavenger hunt. Dark oak. So it's on a dark oak one. Just a minute, Fenny. Just a minute. We found it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. Everything you make contains a part of your beautiful soul. Oh, it's so nice. Oh, what the heck? You said green, put that there? Oh, what? Oh, that's very nice. Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice of him. Oh, that's very, very, very thoughtful and very nice. Let's see. Do you have any ideas for rides in Scarland? Yes, we are doing the river ride. We're gonna do. I think I decided in the stream we're gonna do that roller coaster. Great idea from the chat about doing like a dome and some small fun rides inside of the dome, like a space dome in the sci-fi area. I want to do the Haunted Mansion. I want to do the Scarland dragon thing. This stuff will be built over the course of years, guys. Like, I'm just gonna tinker with this in the background. So like once in a while, you'll just see a Scarland thing and they'll be like, oh sweet, what's new in Scarland? What's my favorite part of Scarland? Straight up, it's as I said, up in these windows, looking down. It's the coolest thing ever. It's the coolest view in all of Minecraft ever made. I'm biased. I'm gonna say it. I'm biased, but I believe this is the coolest. This is the coolest view ever created in Minecraft. As I said, very biased. Q&A Scar, how many lands are there going to be? 3. There are going to be 3 lands. It's Adventure Isles, Fantasy Realm, and Sci-Fi City. Are there any roller coasters in the future? Yeah, as I said, the Dragon roller coaster we talked about earlier in the stream, and potentially one of the Volcano, but definitely the river ride in the Volcano. How many different skins do you have for Scarland? I had about 8 different color variations of my cardigan, and I think that was it for Scarland. Stream build? Yeah, I'll probably do some stuff building on stream, and then sometimes it'll just be a video or a stream or a video where I'm just like, dude, new stuff for Scarland. It'll be casual. I want to do sometimes stuff that's just like, just because I want to. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to like throw up something and be like, yo, Scarland, have fun. Is Scarland available for players to visit? Yes, you can download Scarland on hermitcraft.com. So you could go to our website and download it there for Java. And now you can actually download it for Bedrock. There'll be some changes here and there, like no armor stands and things like that. But you can download it on Bedrock. So yeah, pop over to the Bedrock marketplace, hook it up. Dude, we have another... Hey, you know, Scar, does it still smell like smoke? No, you guys don't even try to pull. No, I will not spoil anything. You keep those spoilers to yourselves. You you delete those spoiler comments. No, you delete. Backspace, control delete. Control delete. Never speak of this. God, I can never keep a secret. So yeah, you can download it there and stuff. It's great. Have fun. Have fun. Knock yourself out. Speak of what? Speak of nothing. I will speak of nothing. Wait, he asked for help. Honestly, see, I didn't spoil anything. He spoiled it himself. What about Star Wars? Oh, you want to know about? Okay, let's go back in time a little bit. We'll go back a couple months before the end of this season. I was over in this flower bed right here with Zoom Zoom, and I spoiled that my season 10 base was going to be lightly themed after Star Wars, kind of a sci-fi vibe, like more of like that fantasy sci-fi vibe that Star Wars is. Unfortunately, I couldn't like put some of the pieces together on how the base was gonna go together. I didn't have an idea for the starter portion of the base yet. I had more ideas, more conceptual ideas than actual like concrete ideas, but I always wanted to do a zoo, and I'm like, you know what, this is a perfect time to do the zoo. 1 week into season 10, instantly clicked on what my starter base was going to be. So season 11, spoiler alert, is going to be a fantasy sci-fi vibe. My character, just for fun, why not just spoil a little bit, is a retired star pilot just cruising around the world. And it's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that base. It's gonna have such a fun aesthetic, and we're gonna have a blast. So it's not like we're not building TIE fighters and X-Wings. We're building our own little sci-fi fantasy vibe, and I think it's gonna look really, really cool. Season 11 starts next month. You know it. So yeah, it'll be really fun. Will I ever build Moonbase Alpha? We got a longtime Scar subscriber in the chat. Love to see it. Someday. Moonbase Alpha was supposed to be my kind of industrial redstone area. So if you ever see me build a industrial redstone area where I do a lot of redstone building, it'll be Moonbase Alpha. That'd be cool. Was the changing the color of your skin anything significant? It was an homage to Mr. Rogers. My character is kind of like a creative wall Mr. Rod, you know, just like got kind of like vibe, like, you know, like an old-timey TV personality a little bit. I never played up to that as much as I wanted to. I really wanted to create like a show that like I would tell people like in an old-timey show, like, here we stand on Main Street, looking down the metropolis, you know, and I would be wearing like a different color card, exactly like Mr. Rogers. So yeah, an unhinged Mr. Rogers. So yeah, that's the significance of the changing colors of the things, because he always had a different sweater. Will I ever release a fully complete Scarland download? I will, 100%, of course. Would you ever consider using other people's builds if they fit the theme in an area for Scarland? Maybe. I would have to think about it. Scarland is so like core to me. I don't know. I would have to think about it. But it's not a bad idea. What are our thoughts on the wild cards? They're great. Grian's imagination is boundless realms of both unhinged and amazing. Are you, let's see, building shops? Yeah, I want to build a restaurant. I want to build a, in Adventureland, I want to build a shop that's like a coconut. It's called Coconut Swirl. And it's like a coconut with like ice cream or some kind of like, you know, swirly thing coming out of it. I think would be really fun. So it's called Coconut Swirl, and it would go like right here, and it would be a really fun shop and a fun little like thing. It's just like literally a coconut, a straw, and like a little swirly like frosty ice cream thing or whatever coming out of it. I think it would be super freaking cool. Do you ever think you'll bring other hermits to help out with the rides or stuff? Dude, if any hermits wanted to help out, I welcome it. But obviously hermits are busy. Like they got their own stuff to work on. Like I don't want to bother them. But if they asked to do anything, I would 100% welcome anybody to do it. But me like going out and actually asking people, I'd feel so bad. Like, hey, take away from your season 10 and 11 builds and come help me. No, if they asked, 100% open arms, but I'd feel so weird like pulling people out and be like, come help me on this thing that doesn't benefit your videos. But yeah, if anyone asks, I would be open arms. Will Sci-Fi Land have a cantina? Ooh, should definitely have one. That's a great idea.
Tipped $5. I can't wait to catch up on the VOD and have a Disney geek out at work on Monday. Thank you for the endless hours of entertainment and distraction you provide.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the tip and the nice comment. That's very, very much appreciated. Tango does owe me a Ferris wheel. You are 100% correct on that. That man owes me a Ferris wheel. Yeah, he definitely owes me a Ferris wheel. But oh, dude, look at how cool that looks at night. Man, I put so much time into that fire effect to create those like burning embers. You see that in there with the different placements of the glowy mushroom blocks. There's so much time went into that, especially in the yellow.
$3. Will you be continuing to add custom textures for future shops and such?
Yes, I will be asking for custom textures if artists are available for the coconut swirl for sure. But that's not a priority right now. Priority for textures and stuff like that's currently Hermitcraft because the zoo's starting and there's textures I'll need for that. So eventually down the road, I will ask for like the coconut swirl and some stuff like that. But right now, like I'm currently like brainstorming the stuff for the zoo on Hermitcraft right now. I'll say Q&A Scar, as this will be taking place in creative, would you see command block? Interesting, command blocks used. I don't know. I've only used command blocks one time, I think, ever. And it was for my Haunted Mansion build way back in the day. I don't know if I would use command blocks. Probably for the fact that I just don't know how to use them. I just don't know how to use them. Are you going to add text to signs for Adventureland? I have wanted to. Somebody gave me an idea on how to do it, and I forgot what they told me. I don't remember if it was somebody in the chat. I don't remember if it was a hermit. I don't remember who it was, but somebody gave me an idea on how to do lettering here. And it was like, I've never thought of it that way. And it was like genius. And I forgot what it was. Very sad because I don't remember what it was. I'm glad you guys are excited for this to continue, this as a project. That makes me really, really happy. Because I genuinely didn't know if anybody would even show up today. Be like, oh, Scar, this is like a old build from a season long ago. And I was like, oh no. When I was getting all my stuff over here, I was like, I told my mom, I was like, I don't know if anybody will show up today, but I know today will be fun for me at least. What is your least favorite part of Scarland? Oh, dude, this is a great question. What is your least favorite part of Scarland or something you wish to improve on? Thank you for a wonderful, wonderful question. Because this is a series of videos that I want to do where I just trash my own builds. That will happen probably in January. Probably in January, I'm going to do this video. Anyway, stay tuned on that. Put a pin in that one. What would I have done different? Well, first of all, more on my psychology probably of anything. I spend far too much time procrastinating, planning pointlessly, and thinking. So overthinking, procrastination is my arch enemy of getting anything done in Minecraft. I overthink things to absolute oblivion, and then I procrastinate, and then I don't get what I want done. So the biggest hindrance to Scarland's construction was, one, Scarland was built during the hardest time of my life. Lost family members. It was a horrible time. My aunt, my grandma, like my cat, like it was the worst. So that was a hindrance to to getting stuff done. And there's the beautiful thing about Scarland was the fact that I was able to come to Scarland and let that stuff kind of like not forget about it because it's important and this, that, but sometimes you just need a break. You just need to escape for a little bit to let your mind just kind of, and post-COVID too, like it was it was a really rough time. Anyway, so like that was also a hindrance, but the main thing was procrastination, as always. So that's a big thing, is like just to do and stop thinking all the time. Like make something, work on something, take that risk. Stop overthinking it. That right there is the number one hindrance. If there's something I would have done different in Scarland, that's a great question. I absolutely despise the placement of the volcano. I wanted the marquees to be in the center, symmetrical. So castle's center, perfect. And then this section, the rocket and or the planetarium or whatever would have been straight on. That's not straight on. It really bothers me because I couldn't build it here with the flag of doom. Oh, the flag. So yeah, I would have preferred the volcano to be like right there. So that kind of gets me a little bit. So that placement I don't like. There are multiple things I'm trying to think of. This over here, I didn't have enough room for the for what I wanted to do in this area. So as I was getting close to getting ready to work on this at one point, I realized there wasn't enough room for the arena, and I was gonna have to like dig way down into the ground, which would have added so much extra time, and it never happened. So that's something. There's so many things that I'm just trying, I'm like drawing blanks, but there's so many things I would have done different. I really wanted to build some kind of train, but I could never crack like what it would look like or how it would work because I didn't want it to be static. I wanted it to be moving. I wanted it to actually be functional, and I never quite got it. The best I ever got to it was the idea of having like a static train, but you could ride a minecart through the fake track. So like big, like Minecraft track, like say season 10 Hermitcraft My Train, like that scale, maybe a little bit smaller scale train, but on a minecart would actually go across it. So you would like go under the train and stuff like that. That could have worked, maybe. So that was a disappointing thing that I could never crack, that I didn't. But what did I not like? What's something that I did not like? The placement of these buildings. Sometimes I think these buildings were too big, maybe just like slightly too high if you compared it to the Gify shop and the town hall. That was a thing that I was not sure the scale worked right with. So that was something. Mainly the biggest thing is constantly the fact of the stuff that I wanted to do that I didn't do. There's one of the eggs. There's one of the eggs. There we go. Chat, you mentioned earlier you wanted to know if there was any eggs left in it. There's one there, and if we sneak through here, there's a bunch of them under the statue here. There's a bunch of them. There's so many there, and I think there was one over here. Yep, there it is. There's the other one. Things I don't like that bridge. I always wanted to make a better bridge. I know like one late night when B-Dubs and I were talking when we were working on stuff, I was talking about that bridge, and I'm like, I hate that bridge. I want to build a better bridge, and I never did. Another thing that I didn't do that I wanted to do was actually make an actual drawbridge design. That unfortunately didn't happen. What else did I not like? I don't know. So yeah, there's a few things that that I did like. I know there's a list. I actually wrote a list once because I want to make the video where I roast my builds, and I had a list of things that I didn't like that I'm just trying to blanked out. Like almost 3.5 hours or so we've been streaming. But yeah, great question. Q&A Scar, will the zoo be a branch of Scarland like His Own Magic Kingdom? That's a great idea. Somehow I would like to tie them together. Yes, that's a fantastic idea. I gotta stick to that. What's my favorite Hermitcraft season? What's your favorite of Hermitcraft season? I'm not related to Scarland. Oh, probably Decked Out for sure. They're so fun there, just hanging out with the hermits. The game was fun. It was an incredible experience, but the funnest part was just chilling out with the hermits. Like, I barely ever talked to Hypno. We barely ever like connected in all this time. Like, and I got to hang out with Hypno so much. It was wonderful. Like, Hypno's such an amazing guy, and like, I rarely get to talk to Hypno, and we got to talk a ton during Decked Out, which was fantastic. In TCG, like I got to hang out a lot with Joe, like during TCG and Beef and stuff like that. Like people just I never really interact with, so too much. They're usually, you know, here and I'm there, and you know, sometimes time zones don't go right, and So it was cool. The Good Times Entertainment Company. What's my favorite ride at Disneyland in California? It's Indiana Jones. The favorite ride that I can actually ride now that I'm in a wheelchair is Radiator Springs. Let's see. Q&A Scar, who's your favorite hermit? Jelly. Q&A Scar, does the season 10 train portal exit the Scarland? It very well might. You'd never know. We should build one of those portals here. Q&A Scar, actually, I'm going to do that. Q&A Scar, are there other gifts or food items you wanted to add? We talked about the coconut swirl. That's a big one. I want to do a fun one for the adventure area, some kind of like sci-fi food. Q&A Scar, is going to Disneyland worth it? We'll save that. We'll save that for our next stream. We'll go on a little trip on that idea. We'll go on a little thought process on there. Q&A Scar, unrelated, but thoughts on the new Superman movie? I don't know. I didn't know there was a new Superman movie. I'm sorry. If you have a link to a trailer or something, send it to me on the Discord. Let's see. Q&A Scar. Have I ever played on Bedrock Edition? One time. It's when they added Jellie. They added Jellie first to Bedrock before Java, and I had to see Jellie. So I logged on to Bedrock. The heck? To try to find her. I don't know if I ever actually found her. I couldn't figure it out. You should sell pineapple ice cream in Scarland at some point. Like a Dole Whip. Cats dropped something and broke it. That was shattering glass, my friends. Ow, I just twisted my neck. Have you seen the Skeleton Crew trailer? And if so, what do you think? Like I said, like, I'm so burnt on Star Wars that, like, I don't know. It looks good. I'll watch it. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. I don't care anymore. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Don't care anymore. They burnt me so hard. If I looked at it, like, it looks fun. It looks like something out of the 80s. And that sounds fun. I think we need some more movies like goofy movies from the 80s. And maybe that's what it'll be. And it'll be good. And that'll be great. I want a good Star Wars. Are the kitties okay? I don't know. It sounds like they're fine. I think they caused some damage. Blame Fitty. Could be Katie B. Katie B's a little wildy now. But there we go, guys. Thank you so much for coming out. This has been so much fun to see Scarland again. And man, what a wonderful time. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did, seeing this park that we kind of poured our blood, sweat, and tears into. And absolutely amazing. When are we building the Stitched Lego set?